Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
All right, welcome to Tinfoil Hat, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studio adjacent. Okay, that's right. Go to samtribute.gold, use promo code Tinfoil, and get in on the precious metals game for as little as $50 a month. We thank them for sponsoring this show. Today's show is, oh man, it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's about Jesuits. It's about BlackRock. It's about comedy. It's about everything. Please welcome to the show, Johnny Cirucci. How are you, brother?
Sam Mother Kennedy Tripoli. I have arrived.
Yeah, you
I
have
have
arrived.
Mother Kenny Tripoli. I have arrived. This is it, man. Just put a skirt over my junk and call me Michael Obama. I'm done.
Okay, dude.
I'm
You're
done.
in.
Walk off the stage of life. I have made it. I am so pumped. Johnny's here. Xavier's here. I am absolutely pumped. I'm a big fan. As a matter of fact, I'm such a big fan. I would like to recount for you my favorite Sam and Johnny conversation. I'm not good at impressions, but I would like to.
We call those Sam conversations.
Say, okay, all right. I'd like to recount for you my favorite Sam conversation. See if I pull this off. See, let's go something like this. Yeah, man. I grew up working, not like these kids today with their iPhones and their iPads. I was up at the crack of dawn, helping my father shoe the horses. 5 years old. I was holding the nails for him and everything.
That was great. I guess that was a Johnny conversation.
That's not even. Hang on.
Okay.
Wow. But did you get to milk the horse?
I remember this. Yeah.
That was a great one. That was a classic moment.
It's not over yet.
We're still going?
Did you get to milk the horse? That's not a thing, dude. No, I'm pretty sure that's a thing. No, that's not a thing, dude. Hang on. No, I saw it on the internet. No, it's a thing. Dude, we really need to get you off the porn. I know. All right.
That was great, bro.
It was a lot more fun. It was a lot more fun than I was thinking it out. But anyway, I love
Hat Theater.
Bigfoot Theater.
We haven't done Bigfoot Theater in a long time. It's a classic. The people love it. So thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate you doing it.
Years ago, so my fans got in touch with me and said, "Hey, dude, they're talking about you on Tripoli. Yeah, they got your book Eaters." So apparently the conversation was about like the cover, and there was a talk about the cover, and then there was an uncomfortable silence.
Hold that book up again. Hold that book up. Damn, look how thick that book is.
Oh, dude, I 5 books, all of them about 800 pages.
Yeah.
Wow. 5 books, and they average about 800 pages. And y'all are welcome to the PDFs. Y'all are welcome to the PDFs. Just let me know, and I'll send them out to you. And honestly, so I know I'm behind the 8 ball. Okay. I've been doing this for quite some time, and I've learned way back in college, when you're behind the 8 ball, when you're trying to convince people things that they don't want to hear, then don't have your own opinion. Have other people, reputable people, make your statement for you. And so they average about 800 pages and like 1,000 citations on average. Because that's it. I know I'm saying things, and I love you guys. I love you for having me on. I'm hope to be pissing off a lot of people who are blaming a certain group here, and it begins with J. It's not Jesuits, but yeah, years ago, and nothing. I was like, oh, yeah, no, nothing. But anyway, that's my bio real quick. My bio real quick is 20 years in the military, born again in Jesus Christ, love my country, and that's it.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Eaters of yeah, we did like that. I remember that. He's accepting all the cookies. Look at that. Eaters of children.
Brave.
Yeah, look at that, dude.
Yeah, they're the other ones.
Yeah, you all the favorite discussions too, hidden history, all that stuff. Yeah. I would love to have been there at that day that they revealed that statue, and was everyone's like,
yeah, that's in Bern. Yeah. And honestly, the funny thing about it is it's not what I intended it to be. The hat is implying that the children eaters were Jewish, and
it wasn't small enough. It wasn't small enough.
We took that and stole it, and we appropriated it. And a good friend of mine put it on that cover, and we have the Jesuit sunburst behind it to let people know. And honestly, Sam, I'll cut right to the point. That's what I'm trying to tell people. If you go on the internet and try to find out who's really behind it, and it's Jews. Here's an intuitive question for you. Here's an intuitive question. If these bad guys are really that bad, and they have all the resources, and they have all the tech, they've stolen it all. They're really powerful, and they even have algorithms and black masses and stuff to basically predict the future. Would it not behoove them to make themselves invisible? Would it not behoove them to push up expendable patsies to hide behind? Does that not make sense? To me, it makes sense. Okay. So that's what I hope to convince you of after I failed with my theater. It was funny as I'm thinking about it in the shower. Let me do that.
No, dude, it's fun. We enjoyed it. It's great. Anyway, don't overthink it. Listen, so here's the whole thing. I am down with everything you're saying. I'm excited to hear your discussion. I have always been, if you know their names, they're not running shit. And I believe there's a lot of middle managers out there. And this is why I get a lot of shit on the internet, because I don't run to one group and be like, this is the bad guys, because based on the 8 years of doing this show and the years before that of just enjoying hidden history and conspiracies, I have learned that there's levels to this shit. And, people are only willing to go so far, and everyone's playing their role. So what you're saying to me isn't foreign or wrong. Good. I'm excited to hear about it. There are going to be people that push back, because everybody wants good guy, bad guy. That's what they want. These guys good, these guys bad. And I have a very nuanced discussions, and some people just don't get it. That it's either it's the George Bush said it. Some people say Jesus said it, but it was like either you're with me or you're against me. I don't believe in that. I believe the world is more gray. I don't believe in black and white. So I'm interested to hear everything you have to say.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
That's in the Bible. It's Matthew. He who is not with me is against me.
Yeah, and so we get into that with Jesus, who we all, I believe, on this show, believed in Jesus, followed Jesus. Xavier has a couple uncles named Jesus, so we all have a belief in Jesus. So from our point of view, where Jesus comes from is love. So if someone's either you're with my love or you're not, we understand that. But then it gets co-opted like everything does, and it becomes George Bush going, hey, you're either with us or you're against us. And then we're just like, what the fuck was that? And that's not nuanced to us. And so that's the whole thing.
Is that the same speech? It's a different speech from when George Bush was at the UN and he berated conspiracy theorists for questioning the 9/11 narrative. Something, by the way, that both the big whistleblowers, Edward Snowden and Julian Assange, are against questioning the 9/11 narrative. They're on our side, don't you know? Interesting. Yeah. Interestingly enough, Johnny, is he says it both ways. Christ says it both ways. He says, those who are not for us are against us. And in another passage, he says, those who are not against us are for us. And he covers all the bases. He's absolutely true, which I really love, because I've met a lot of people in my life that are not necessarily born again. I am born again Christian. I've met a lot of people in my life that are not necessarily born again, but they're warm towards it. They're not antagonistic towards it. And it really does make a big difference. So let me go to my notes here. All right. Like I said, big fan of the show. Love all of you guys. Xavier, you're looking good, man. You're working out. You got like an Andrew Tate thing going there.
He thought he had blown out knees. He doesn't.
I'm quoting a previous show where someone was teasing him, say, "Hey, you look. I think it was you, Sam, that said you look like Andrew Tate, man. Well, you do. You look good. Appreciate you.
You do look like a little bit like Andrew Tate.
I don't know.
Shave your head.
It's coming.
So let me encourage you, Sam. You've had several conversations in relation to what is success. You get frustrated at apparently being stalled out. It seems like there's a glass wall. There is, man. There is a wall that's holding you back, and that's called truth. And as long as you're going to zero in on truth and have open conversations and honestly search these things, you're going to be plateaued. Okay. You're going to be plateaued. I want to recommend we were talking, one of the conversations you had was about woke comedians holding you back. There's no such thing. Okay. There's no such thing. To me, my definition of comedy is satire. And satire is to take mainstream stupid and skewer it. And that takes courage. That takes bravery. I put together a list of some people, and you're on that list of who have the courage, a small list of people that do that. That includes you. I haven't heard if Eddie's still doing stand-up. Is Eddie still doing stand-up?
He's great.
So, Tim Dillon, Leo Kearse, Leonardo Johnny that you've had on the show, Owen Benjamin, Jimmy Dore, Kurt Metzger. Kurt, tell me, buddy, got all your Jesuit info for you. Kyle Donegan. These are guys, Jim Brewer. You have a great show that you did with Jim Brewer. These are guys, what blew Jim up? Somebody had to say it. He came out and kicked back against the satire. Satire is, first of all, there's no such thing as woke. Okay. Great Reset and woke. These are terms they created and they handed to us because they're gaslighting what they fear. Listen to me. They're gaslighting what they fear. Woke. What is woke? Well, we finally woke up to all that racism's out there. And so I don't know why I'm kind of talking about this Southern accent.
No, it's great. That's Johnny's uncle.
Is woke. Okay. You're kidding me, right? This is the same racism and prejudice that the machine's been beating into us year after year, generation, decade after decade. Now suddenly you woke to it. Right? No. What they fear is common people being red pill. I don't even go with that white pill, black pill stuff. That's a distraction. Or are you pessimist or are you optimist? Stop. It's red pill, blue pill. Okay. And I know a guy that says that was stolen from him. It's about being awake. And this is why they create this silliness and call it woke. They're deeply afraid of people waking up. One thing they can't handle is the sleeping giant stirring. The other thing, the great reset. You have in your mind, great reset. You own it all already. What are you resetting? What are you resetting? You already own it all. Okay. They're afraid they're going to get reset. That's what they're afraid of. And they spin it and they gaslight it. Oh, it's a great reset. Part starting with the pandemic. So
I'm with you on that. I just got to say something. I have had a lot of discussions about the pills. Again, it starts out red and blue, and I think there's a lot to it. Then, there's been discussion, is the black pill CIA thing to, because conspiracy theorists was used to scare normies from questioning the JFK assassination. So it's like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm not. And you see that to this day. And then now it's gone even deeper. You go, okay, because Whitney Webb and everything she's researching, and everyone's like, oh, you're just a black pill, which means you have no hope. But on the other side of that, which is what I am now at, is what they call the white pill. The only reason I bring that up is because I'm not trying to save anybody anymore. I just do this show because I feel like I need to put it out and let those who want to save themselves find it. And when we talk about Christ, and I'm not a perfect human being. I struggle with a lot of problems. I'm trying to be, I'm a good person. I don't hurt people. I don't steal. I don't hurt anybody, particularly children. I never do anything. I try to make the world and those around me better. And I believe that everything I have is inside me with my love of Christ as well. So that to me kind of breaks it down in terms of the woke and the stuff like that. I'm with you on that. Those are terms of gaslighting done to the whole movement of woke was a giant astroturfing by corporations to make a small fraction of the population feel very powerful. like they could step up, and for the first time ever, you had people who hide in the shadows now having this kind of bravery to take out alphas, and you've seen it on the internet with trolls. These trolls all get together for the first time, and they could take out an alpha, and they just want heads on stakes and stuff like that. So yeah, it just became this thing where it's control, and a lot of stuff that I'm pushing back right now on. I should have done it earlier. I've said it, with other comedians who got canceled. I handled that wrong. Now I'm just like, I'll go up there and I'll say everything on stage and just show everybody that the walls aren't bleeding. And I don't believe that love is not making criticisms and not making jokes about people. The real love is when we all are treated equally. And that to me is really what it's about, because whatever group you're talking about, there is this kind of thing where it's like there's protected classes, and I don't believe in protected classes. I just think it's actually very disrespectful to some of those classes. And what happens in there is you have grifters who take advantage of those things to use to their advantage. And a lot of the political correctness that is just to make white progressive women feel comfortable to not have to feel anything. And we need to get out of that because that's stupid. So I agree with a lot of stuff you're saying. I just have a little couple of tweaks here.
Sure, no, absolutely. Well, here's what you have: a very loving and altruistic worldview. That's not the world we live in. The world we live in is one thoroughly controlled by literally a Luciferian elite.
I agree.
And the Luciferian elite have been using the tactic of divide and conquer for eons.
Yeah.
And they feed off of that. And so what you've seen on the surface of a bunch of emoting leftists going after an alpha, they would have no power or authority had not a power structure behind them urged them on, because they are utilizing the divide and conquer tactic. They are capitalizing off of it. That's what woke is. That's taking Sam, common sense. You go out and ask anybody on the street, they'll go back, quote Martin Luther King Jr. Be judged by the content of your character, not any other group that you're in. The problem with that is that's too egalitarian. That makes common sense. It's common sense, too egalitarian. It does not serve the machine. The machine needs divide and conquer. Why do they need divide and conquer? I'll give you the immigration issues in both North America and Europe. The immigration, and by the way, both of those areas, both of those locations, the tactic serves Rome. And forgive me, all of a lot of people out there that are going to be angry with this, just hear me out, okay?
Yes.
I was born and raised Roman Catholic, okay? In 1994, I became born again Christian. I still have family that are trying to bring me back to the mother church, okay? But listen, for a couple of things. Number one is, those of you who are conservative Latin Mass Catholics, your church doesn't represent you, and it never represented you, okay? The Catholic Church could end abortion like in a snap of Thanos's fingers, okay? And doesn't want to, because it's integral. It's important to the moving of the Catholic Church. I hate to say this. The blood and tears of children make the power structure of the Catholic Church go. Don't call me crazy. Instead, go look at the scandal after scandal after scandal of clergy raping kids with the help of police and prosecutors. Okay, let's look at Jimmy Savile for a second. Jimmy Savile, did you know he was a hyper devout Roman Catholic? No, nobody knew that. Nobody knew he was raping kids. He was dead for 10 years before anybody even knew what he was up to. And to this day, nobody knows he was a hyper devout Roman Catholic. Used to pray. His victims would say he was praying in Latin while he was raping me. Are you kidding me? Jimmy Savile is a knight of the British Empire and a knight of the Catholic Church. To this day, they absolutely refuse to strike him from the rolls. Okay? They refuse to strike him from the rolls. Back to the immigration real quick. So, the wide open borders in America, millions upon millions. Is it all about them being Hispanic? No. what religion are they predominantly? Overwhelmingly, they're Catholic. They're Catholic. And the goal, so my family came, I'm fourth generation Italian. My family came over in waves. These are all manipulated by Rome. There are sources that say the Irish being forced out of Ireland by potato famine was exacerbated or perhaps even caused by British Freemasonry. And behind British Freemasonry are the Jesuits. The Albert Mackey was the historian of the Freemasons, and he admitted that the degrees were created by Jesuits. He admitted it. Helena Blavatsky said, "Oh, the Freemasonry was great until the Jesuits moved in and took it over."
Hey guys, the crypto market is going crazy right now, and you gotta have somebody that can help you pick and choose which one crypto is best for you. And that's why I want to tell you about our good friend James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. So let me tell you about Copy My Crypto. Guys, it has to piss you off to watch crypto fly up in prices for a decade and you still done nothing. Okay, it makes sense. Crypto is complicated and it's really boring. Well, here's the good news. You don't have to know a thing about crypto to make the money like so many have. The copymycrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just got to copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You simply just copy along. So let me tell you about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has over 50,000 subscribers. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put $100 into each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick, the one he singled out called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said, okay, that one call alone retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify this yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing right now and head over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. Okay, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You're not only find proof of everything I said, but my viewers get full access for just $1. Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin, or you can keep buying some, okay? But there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any time. Go to the site and read it. Okay. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. It ended money worries for so many. It may just do the same for you.
So the waves upon waves of immigrants. There's a great scene, not so great, but a poignant scene in Gangs of New York by Martin Scorsese, who is Jewish. Oh no, he's not Jewish. He's Italian Catholic, isn't he? He's the same brilliant guy that did several Jesuit movies, including Silence. Another story. We'll get to that hopefully. The scene where the Daniel Day-Lewis character is the caricature, much like Donald Trump is a caricature of us. He's not a real us. He's kind of buffoonish. He's kind of like the Alex Jones of politics. He's who we want him to be, and then he makes an ass out of himself, and then we're kind of embarrassed over him. You can grab him by the anyway. So the great scene in Gangs of New York where Tammany Hall, the corrupt politician, is talking to Day-Lewis's Protestant character, and he's pointing towards the ship of Irish immigrants pouring off the ship, and he says, there we go. Americans are boarding. What do you see? I see votes. Votes, you say? Says the Day-Lewis character. They vote as the man in the pointy hat in Rome tells them how to vote. And then he goes on and says they take a nickel for the job that a Negro, and he uses the nasty word that a quarter, and so on and so forth. So it wasn't a great portrayal because it's a Scorsese movie, but it was poignant. And so as immigrants are millions and millions of millions of Catholic immigrants over centuries, Sam, centuries, Irish, Italian, Hispanic, now Polish. Poland is like 98%. Okay. These ethnic groups dominated by Catholicism. And I'm afraid to tell you, they ain't coming across. Certainly now, the key is to tell them, do not assimilate. Do not. When the Italians and the Irish came over, they were beat out. Hey, you will become American.
I
learn
didn't
the
learn
language.
Armenian or Italian because my parents' generation was the generation of assimilation. And now it's like keep your heritage, and that too is a divide and conquer.
Yes. The machine wants them to stick out, Sam.
Yep.
I was forced. I was in Pennsylvania, 2,000 miles north of the southern border. I was forced out of my development because it was just overwhelmed with illegal aliens they just picked up their culture and they moved it, and they have loud, raucous parties on the weekends, and they don't have bands, and they basically forced me out. What are you laughing at, Xavier? You know that, don't you? You know that, don't you? That's you. I'm talking about. That's your family. I'm teasing.
You know it's fun. You know it's fun. You've been to those parties. You just don't like it.
Well, there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place for parties, and in developments where you have a lot of neighbors, it's not quite as appropriate as like when you rent a hall and other things. But the key is that they are encouraged by the government, by the police, by billion-dollar companies not to assimilate, not to change. And that creates ungrateful migrants rather than grateful Americans. And they're very proud from where they came from.
Yeah.
And they don't give a crap about where they are now.
Well, it's also that they also get paid jack shit. That's a whole thing. It's like, there's this giant psyop right now being done on American people that Americans don't want to work. Now, I just met a friend of mine who's trying to hire like lifeguards in Vegas, and these kids don't want to work. So there is something to that, but I'm talking about the older generation where they're like, Americans don't want to do this job, Americans don't want to do that job. And I've said here on this show before, where I'll drive through the Taco Bell drive through, and there's a 45-year-old man handing me my food. So people want to work, but they don't want to pay anybody. This is where we get into when you start to argue capitalism. What we're at right now is crony capitalism. I'm a capitalist. I love capitalism. I love pure capitalism.
We don't have it.
We don't have it right now. They are paying nothing, and that's why
it's not capitalism, Sam. It's not capitalism. John D. Rockefeller said competition is a sin. It's a sin. They all own it all. Sam, there's a thing called market share. You guys, so we can see this on the social networking side, okay? When you get to be the size of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, when you get to be the size, how about this? Google and YouTube. What's the birthday of Google? It used to be, I don't know what it used to be, but they changed it to September 27th. What's September 27th? The birthday of the Jesuits. The birthday of the Jesuits, September 27th is when Google celebrates. Look it up, Johnny. Look it up. Now, you're going to get a lot of subterfuge. Well, it wasn't the original. They changed it. You have to type in September 27th. Okay. So,
well, let me finish this point that I was making. The reason a big factor is that because they're getting paid jack shit, they are forced to live in a small area. There used to be you could move here, and there, my parents talk about my dad's whole family changed all their names. My grandpa was the only one to keep his original Italian name.
Forced assimilation.
Yep. They all changed their names, but you could come here and get a living wage. That's not happening anymore. They are sending in cheap labor that is forced to live like. There was a whole joke before that the reason that the networks and corporations loved Carlos Mencia's stand-up show is because they felt like one television was like three families because of his it was Hispanics. So they were all watching, so he thought they were big family people and they could reach more people. And that's true. You're just clumping people together that have to figure out a way to survive because no one's got money because no one's working paying jobs.
There's no doubt that the migrants, whatever you want to call them, are absolutely exploited by both sides. Absolutely exploited by both sides. But because of their background, because of how they're growing up, and Xavier Stamp, let me know if I'm off base, but the Catholic Church trains them to have a sort of especially in coming over, and the Catholic Church is helping millions of migrants come over because
they
it
got
serves
busted doing that. They got busted doing that.
Absolutely.
That priestess or whatever we're calling her that called out Donald Trump to his face, turned out her church was getting millions of dollars to help bring people in.
They are absolutely being exploited. But again, the problem is they're also being used because they're not assimilating. They're not being told. Both the government and billion, the enemy is billion. B, anything with a B.
Okay, by assimilate, what would you want them to come in there and change their last name from Gonzalez?
A process, not a wide open border. A process where you come in and you earn what is available to you. Don't just walk across and plug in. That's anybody knows that you have to, when you earn what is in front of you, it's a goal, it's a challenge. You're grateful for it. You embrace it. You love it. But when it's handed to you, you feel like you're entitled to it. So I don't want.
Okay, what about this one? What about this one? When you gain citizenship, you can ask for it to be in Spanish. I don't think it should be in Spanish. If you want citizenship, test should be in English, period. Done and simple. Why is it in Spanish? Why is it in Japanese? Why is it in Russian? You want citizenship? I even thought that because I've heard Mexicans like, yo, you can take it in Spanish, and I was like,
right, then why are you? How are you a citizen?
No,
how are you a
with you
citizen?
on that.
It's part, but well said, David. It's part of the assimilation process. You come in, you have to adopt. I'm not saying get rid. Trust me, I love my Italian heritage. I'm not saying get rid of that. Don't ever show that again. I'm saying you have to adopt the new heritage because why are you here? You want to be here. You want to be here. You want to become an American. There's things about America that you love. It's not just an opportunity. You see things over here and you say, I want that. And you go and you adopt that. You memorize the fact that the Constitution was ratified in 1787, particularly with the Bill of Rights. You go and you become the new you, but that doesn't serve the machine. What serves the machine is divide and conquer. Do not become. They want ghettos. And of course they're not getting a wage because the dollar is worth 5 cents thanks to the Federal Reserve. After all this time, they want pockets and ghettos, and ultimately, this is an ancient military tactic, Sam, guys, this is in the Bible, okay? This is what Assyria did to the northern kingdom of Israel. All that thing, if you read about intermarrying, if you go and you look back, Assyria conquering the northern kingdom and forced them to break the law of Moses and intermarry. Why was that against the law? Because then they knew that they would lose their religion. They would lose and most importantly, they will lose the Messiah's bloodline, which fortunately was not the case because the Messiah's bloodline was through Judah, which is the southern kingdom. But there's a military tactic of divide and conquer, of forcibly intermingling and taking away the identity.
100%.
In Europe, they have a different situation with a lot of migrants who are basically Muslim. You've got a migration from the Middle East, migration from Pakistan, migration from Africa, and predominantly you've got a lot of a big Islamic influence. And how are they reacting? They're reacting in a couple of ways. They give up a phony hero like, was it Christopher Stephen Yaxley Lennon? Or Christopher Stephen. Do you know who that is? Christopher Stephen Yaxley Lennon? Yaxley-Lennon? No, you've never heard of that name. How about Tommy Robinson? Have you heard of Tommy Robinson?
Yes.
He's the anti-migrant hero, right? That's not his real name. They fabricated him. He is the Alex Jones of the anti-migrant movement. If you want a hero, they serve you up this guy, and he goes up and he acts like a buffoon.
Isn't that Albert Pike's whole thing? When they need a hero, we will give them one.
Absolutely. And when he starts to lose credibility, we'll go ahead and hammer him and we'll put him in prison so that all of a sudden, he's one of us. They're beating him down. It's one of us. He's the embodiment. Or you've got a guy like Nigel Farage, who was leading UKIP until they got out of the European Union and Brexited out. And now Nigel's betraying everything they ever stood for.
I don't want to get off on this topic, what I'm about to say, but I'm telling you right now, this is my opinion. That's exactly what they did with Hitler. That's my exact opinion on what they did with Hitler. Because you have this argument with. I don't want to go too far into it because I want to say what you want to talk
Sam,
about.
it's your show. Let's go.
I know, but I don't want this because. But they present him as this hero, and then everyone goes, "But he gave out interest-free loans, and he fucking arrested the bankers." That's the role. Because that is part of a bigger story that needs to get told. He has to play the bad guy. So you make it. You have to get everyone around him to buy into him, so he can finish the job. But he has to be seen as a good guy in Germany, but outside he will be sold as a bad guy. But that's how it has to go. That's how you get into. That's how it goes. That's 100% what happened there. That's 100% what happened there. And I don't want to go down that road.
Let me back you up, Sam. Let me back you up. That and how much more believable is he if he believes it himself that he's a pawn, William Guy Carr, a pawn in the game? How much more does he believe in himself? How about this? Did you know that the book that put him in place, Mein Kampf, My Struggle Against the Jews and the Bankers, he didn't write that.
Yeah.
You know who did? A collared Jesuit priest named Bernard Stampfel. A Jesuit priest named Bernard Stampfel ghost wrote My Struggle, Mein Kampf for Adolf Hitler. The genesis of the Third Reich was in Munich, what used to be Ingolstadt. You know what else is in Ingolstadt? Dominated by the Jesuits, the Jesuit University of Ingolstadt. You know who taught at the Jesuit University of Ingolstadt? A Jesuit priest by the name of Johann Adam Weishaupt. Munich was an epicenter of Catholic control in Lutheran Protestant Germany, and they hatched that. And the reason was to punish Germany, to make insane amounts of money.
It goes even deeper, dude. It goes into this war. I'm going to get El Dorado back on the show. My buddy from high school, he told me all this shit before, and it was like, there is going to be a war, according to the Bible, between the pagans and the lost tribes. And Germany is supposed to lead that, and they are doing everything they can to cripple the fuck out of that country.
You know what else they're doing? They control intelligence. They control.
Okay, now we're on the same page here, and I've been saying this forever, dude. The CIA, Mossad, MI6, they're all the same people. Just different storefronts, and I'll go even deeper with you. And I don't want to cut you off. You're gonna
dude. I'm taking notes where you're talking. Go.
If you study organized crime in North America and Europe, and you study the intelligence agency, every major mob in North and South America and in Europe is Catholic based.
Love you, man. Yeah,
every one of them. The Irish, the Italians, the Latinos, the Mexicans. You go through it, they're all Italian. They're all Catholic based. Every single one of them. So, like I was saying this before, even everybody went on Joe Rogan and said, and that's, I'm glad it's out there. But dude, the Roman Catholic Church, it just fucking redefined it. Rome redefined itself.
Are we, Xavier? You want to say something?
No, I couldn't. He's right. There's never like a Christian cartel, a Christian.
What about the
mob.
mob? What about them? Aren't they Orthodox, like Eastern Orthodox or whatever, the Russian mob?
Yeah, but we talking Latin America. We said North America and Europe.
Dominating everywhere.
We can't get into the only thing you could possibly say is this belief in the Mormon mafia, that there's a Mormon mafia.
Do you think that's real? I love that idea.
I don't know, but regardless of what you think about the Q drops, okay, whatever. I think that's
power base. They're bid players, Sam. They're bid players.
Yes,
Mormons dominated by Freemasonry. They're bid players. It's important. This is why I do what I do.
Are you saying big or bit players?
BIT bid players. They're sideline bid players, and so are the Mossad. The government, Israeli government are players. The Mossad are players.
Well, I'll go into that because I believe that Israel is just a land bridge territory that they're trying to control, that these ancient Babylonian families who, if you get into the black nobility and all that stuff, it's like, I'm just telling you guys, man.
The ones you never heard of, right? The ones you don't hear. It's Rothschild,
there's middle management fucking people, dude.
Yes. Expendable. Sam, I adore you, man. They're expendable. You push them up in the front. Rothschild, Red Shield. How do they supposedly make their fortune? Because they had insider knowledge of when Napoleon Bonaparte would lose, right? Who was there to give them insider knowledge? Napoleon Bonaparte was raised by Jesuits on the island of Corsica. He's not even French. He's Italian. Okay, he's Italian Roman Catholic and a Freemason, and he had a priest named Joseph Stias whispering in his consigliere. So they knew everything that he was doing, and they leaked it to a great author by the name of Emmanuel Josephson. Explained how it is that Jews are known as the bankers. Okay, it's the Jews are the bankers because the Catholic Church needed pawns, plausible deniable pawns, because before this, it was the Catholic Church that was making all the big money off of usury, trained by the Templars. The Templars created usury. Okay, and they did this through the sending when Catholics would go to the Promised Land, pilgrimages. Okay, they would go to, and they were getting robbed, and so they needed protection, and they would go to the Templars, and the Templars would take the wealth of the Catholic pilgrims, and they would give them a receipt, and they would put a cipher on it that only a Templar could understand, and they go and they do their pilgrimage. First of all, by the way, that has nothing to do with Christianity. Pilgrimage, earning your salvation has nothing to do with Christianity. It's all Catholic. And I'm afraid to say Catholics, not Christians. It's a whole nother discussion.
Oh, shots fired.
They would come back. They would take the receipt to a Templar armory. They would show it to them. And the Templars would say, okay, here's your wealth back. And you are getting a percentage of that is going to be paid to us. They created usury. The Templars created, and it made them filthy rich and made them richer than any nation. But the problem was that upset a lot of Catholics. They didn't like to see their church making all this money off of usury. And this was also the downfall of the Templars and the Catholic Church for a very short period of time.
Hey, y'all. If you're trying to save money, maybe you've limited your dining out. You're not eating out as much. But with the price of food lately, it seems like there's not much of a difference between eating out and staying in. And to make matters worse, there's also so many unhealthy options out there that you have to kind of sort through. Home Chef can help you save money and eat healthier with their fresh, delicious meals that are delivered straight to your door.
Home Chef delivers fresh ingredients and chef-designed recipes conveniently to your doorstep to simplify your cooking experience. Users of the leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. Okay, whether you prefer meal kits with pre-portioned ingredients, quick 30-minute recipes, oven-ready options, microwave meals, or dedicated family meals, Home Chef has everything you and your family need for a hassle-free, delicious dinner. Home Chef has over 30 options a week and several varieties of dietary needs.
For a limited time, Home Chef is offering our listeners 50% off and free shipping for your first box, plus free dessert for life. Go to homechef.com/tinfoil. That's homechef.com/tinfoil for 50% off your first box and free dessert for life. Homechef.com/tinfoil. Must be an active subscriber to receive the free dessert.
I'm going to do one thing because I can already hear people listening, yelling. There's this whole theory that a bunch of Jews created the Jesuits and a bunch of Jews created the Knights Templar. Any thoughts on that? Because I already hear the yells.
Names, places, and dates. Anybody can say that. I love this. The threat of crypto Jew. Anybody can say crypto Jew. Names, places, dates. By the way, this has a lot to do with woke and women and emoting. When they use false arguments. Okay, prove it. Prove it. Ignatius of Loyola was a crypto Jew. He was a Basque Spaniard noble. Just because you said his nose is too big? How do you know? Here's the only way you can. Okay, crypto Jew. What did he do for the Jews? Illuminati, zero. Nothing. The number of people that Charlie Manson killed. How many? Zero. You know what Martin Bryan is? The guy over at Port Arthur, the poor kid that supposedly killed 30 people in Port Arthur. The number of people he killed. No, zero. He didn't kill anybody. What did Ignatius of Loyola do?
You're killed for those hand signals, by the way. You're going to get murdered.
I can see the screenshots now.
Yeah,
I can see the screenshots now. Ignatius of Loyola created the special forces of the Catholic Church. the special forces. No one is more Catholic than the Jesuits. They were birthed in the Counter-Reformation. There is nothing. If you look, what did Christ say? A tree is known by its fruit. You show me Ignatius. How is Ignatius Loyola Jewish? What did he do for the Jews? Nothing. Nothing. You can slam Sam. He's a crypto Jew. And Johnny. They're both Johnnies. You're both
Johnny
crypto
is
Jews.
a crypto Jew.
He probably is. Look at him. Look at him. He's laughing now. No, guys, there's no names, places, and dates. Prove it. Prove it. Go to genealogy.com and go through it. Okay, well, here's the branch and the comes in there. They don't have it. They don't have it. All they can do is throw slander as a distraction. And here's the thing about the people who blame Jews, and Whitney Webb, unfortunately, is a big part of this.
Oh,
look past Epstein.
You're going after the Queen, buddy.
Don't look past Epstein.
This is Queen territory. This show.
Here's the proof. They're emoting. They're using emotion in their argument. Okay. Names, places, dates. As soon as you can inject emotion in the argument, you've won or lost. Once emotion is there, you've won or lost. Okay? The Catholic Church owns infrastructure. You say all you want about the Jews. Say you want about the Mormons. Say all you want about the Freemasons. The Catholic Church owns infrastructure in countries. For every, pick one, a Mormon school, Jewish, or there are thousands of Catholic schools, thousands of Catholic orphanages, and hundreds of Jesuit schools and Jesuit orphanages. And guess what they're doing? They're raping kids, they're torturing kids, and they're doing it within collusion of the government. The government is helping them do it anywhere. Canada, Australia, Ireland. And you know what they do, Sam? Here's eaters. I prove it in eaters. Here's the process that they use. Okay. They rape the kids year after year after year after year. And when enough people finally get upset and angry and they need to do something, they're forced to do something, they'll have a committee. They'll do a report. They'll have a research. They'll get together. They'll have the congressional committee. Okay. Now, Sam, if they want to come after you, what are they going to do? Xavier, Johnny, they want to come after you. They're going to have a report. They're going to do a committee. No, they're going to show up at your doorstep at 3 a.m. dressed like they're going to retake Fallujah with full body armor. The cops will be in camouflage and olive drab by design to make you train you into seeing soldiers as your police. And by the way, I've got a source that say the very concept of police was created by Ignatius Loyola when he was working for the Venetian black nobility. The Doge. Does that sound familiar? Okay. And when he created the concept of a coercive force that keeps feudalism in place, I got news for you. You think you're in a democracy? You think you're in a representative republic? Here, Europe, anywhere? No, you're not. You're in a feudal kingdom.
California,
you want proof?
For sure is that, dude.
You want
for
proof?
Sure.
Sam, how many politicians are related to previous politicians? How many?
I haven't done study on that.
Skull and Bones, Bush 43, son of Skull and Bones, Bush 41. Cuomo, son of Cuomo, Italian Roman Catholic, and oh, by the way, Andrew Cuomo, who killed so many elderly in New York that there was people asking, you fudged the numbers on how many people died in these old folks' homes. Real quick, as proof of the pandemic. So the virus was the virus. Where did they die? Did they drop dead like the black plague? They dropped dead. Did planes fall out of the sky? No, they died in the hands of the people supposedly healing them. They died in the hands of doctors. Wait, what? They died.
Yeah,
doctors.
I'm getting in arguments with people on that. This one guy's just trying to convince me. We were talking on Broken Sim last night. There's a guy I'm in a Twitter DM battle with. And he's just like, people are dying from the measles, and you're putting this on. I'm like, dude, dude, that case in Texas, that hospital just lost a lawsuit for medical malpractice for that death.
Sam, here's the crazy thing: viruses have never been isolated.
Dude, where are you right now? You don't think we, dude? I tell that to everybody.
Viruses have never been isolated. Okay,
dude,
so here's let me give you the
guys. They're crazy, dude.
You
No
send
one
them to me.
listens to me.
Put me on the team. I'll take care of them for you, brother. I'm going to be your pit bull. Listen to me. There's two different ways of looking at health and sickness. Two different ways of looking at health and sickness. Okay. One way is if you go into a real healer, there's a conversation you're never going to have with a doctor. You'll never have them. You go into a doctor and you say, by the way, I'm taking notes. I'm sorry for jumping all over the place. Go into a doctor, say, listen, I've got migraine headaches. I've got a stiff neck and I'm not sleeping. So what does the doctor say? I'm going to give you a pill and we'll take care of that symptom. And if the pill doesn't work, I'll cut that muscle out of your neck. And if that doesn't work, then, oh, by the way, pay your insurance. This visit costs you so much that you can't afford it on your own. Okay. What should a real healer be asking you? Are you married? What's your job situation? How are you eating? How often?
Yeah.
Do you have kids? Are your kids driving you crazy?
Yeah.
Have you had any breakups lately? They need the whole you, Sam. They need the whole you. How much are you relying
totally
on?
Agree.
How much are you relying on electronic devices? All of these issues.
Oh my God.
Are you drinking tap water? Okay. All of these issues. Are you going to McDonald's? All of these issues are critical to your health. That's not what doctors say. That's not what science says. Science says, no. It's genetics. Listen to me, Sam. They want you to continue. They want to rob you and continue for you to be sick. They do not want you healed. So what they tell you is
to play devil's advocate. How long would that take?
How long would what take?
That's their excuse. Oh, we don't have time to ask you about
your job.
Health.
Hold on.
That's your job.
No, I agree.
Paying you.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Doctors,
I agree.
It's okay. Let them play it. Dr. Xavier, I'm paying you so much money, I can't pay it myself. I've got to make payments to another group of criminals called insurance. And thank goodness that we have the ghost gun. What's his name? Italian, right? Our hero who goes and caps those nasty insurance, right? Please. All right. There's so much wrong with what's going on there. Luigi Mangione, our hero Italiano, boy, he's so cute. Look at him. And he's so buff. Look at him. We all want to just love him and squeeze him. Okay. I'm telling you, manipulated. Who benefits? Qui bono. I'll use their language. Qui bono. Okay. So quickly back to health. Two ways of looking at it. Okay. It's your everything. It's your environment. Doctor tells you that, Xavier, get up and walk out. I don't have time for all this. It's me. How do you know who I am? How do you know what's wrong with me? Unless I tell you all this, you need to be asking me this, pulling out. No, they're trained not to. They're trained to only address the symptom and not heal you, and address the symptom in a negative way that makes them money and sends you on your way, not healed. Two ways of looking at this. It's the whole you. It's what you're eating. It's how you're sleeping. Do you know you can make yourself sick with your mind? Do you know you can kill yourself with your mind? You've seen this happen. You've got these wonderful couples who spend a lifetime together. One spouse dies and the next one dies a day later. You've seen that happen. You can kill yourself with your mind. That's why the doctors tell you, I'm sorry, you've got 2 weeks to live. They're trying to kill you.
Snap.
Damn.
Yes. Whoa. Yes, they're trying to kill you. That's why they isolated the elderly in those homes with the plastic sheets and the diapers and the masks.
Yeah,
they wanted them to die from loneliness. Okay, they're trying to kill them off because they hate us. Because they hate us. Okay, so that's what a real healer. The real healer wants to hold you, and instead, what they tell you is no. What really made you sick is this teeny tiny little thing. You can't see it. You can't see it yourself. You can't verify whether you have this little teeny tiny thing yourself. You give it to us, the experts, and we'll send it out to be tested. That's how you know if you have AIDS. That's how you know if you have COVID. We'll go to Carrie Banks Mullis's polymerase chain reaction. And we'll use that, and we'll jam up the cycles for 30 times.
Monica Perez calls them the high priests of the microscope.
They are,
because they're the only ones allowed to look at it.
They are. They're the experts. You trust them. Trust the experts. Anytime you hear that, that's a fallacy.
I totally agree.
That's someone telling you to lose your argument. Trust the expert. Trust the science. Turn your brain off. They're wearing a white lab coat. They have a stethoscope around their neck. They're gods. Yep, they can never have an agenda. They can never be wrong. Are you kidding me? By the way, Carrie Banks Mullis was a stark critic of a guy by the name of Anthony Fauci. He's Jewish, right? Fancy, crypto Jew, right? Yeah, not on your life. Italian Roman Catholic, trained by the Jesuits. He says this himself, and everything he knows about viruses, he brags about it.
Yeah.
He brags about it. Okay. Did you see the speech in 2017 where he warned that Donald Trump was going to face a pandemic very soon? Do you know where he was?
Yeah.
Do you know where he was? He was at Georgetown, the Jesuit university that dominates politics, when he said that. Okay. I wish I had you there. No homo. I'll give you a big kiss and a hug. Wish
Full
you had
homo,
you
bro.
already...
Full homo.
Okay. No lips, though. Okay. Good. Italiano. Good. Latino. Okay. A good. We love. We love. That's the Latin culture, is love with all our hearts. Okay.
Yes.
But you nailed it. I don't remember what show it was. You nailed 8. You nailed 8. You exactly said what it was. And let me do a quick recap for you. By the way, so don't forget Carrie Banks Malls. Carrie Banks Malls, who was a critic of Anthony Fauci. And when did he die? August 7th in 2019, right before the pandemic. Now, what was August 7th? 1814. The date of the resurrection of the Jesuits were suppressed. 1773, they went underground so that they could create the United States. They came back in 1814 after the United States was created. Not me. Fantastic source called Rulers of Evil, written by Frederick Tupper Saucy III. Fantastic source. The Jesuits behind the American Revolution to create the sword arm. Okay. The Jesuits came back on August 7th. What's
the book called? The Rulers of what?
Rulers of Evil. You can buy it on CIA Amazon for $666. The good news is you can find the PDF freely available on the internet.
Lying, dude. Do you guys know how much the paperback costs on Amazon? $898.
What did I tell you? They bought up the rights and they want to make sure no one can see it. But unfortunately, it's all over the interstate.
Yeah,
it's all over the internet interstate.
So you get the PDF you said for free?
Yes. Just type in Rulers of Evil Saucy SAUSSY PDF and it'll pop right up for you. And if not, let me know, Xavier, and I'll send it to you. Okay, along with my books. Okay, and August 7th. So by coincidence, Carrie Banks Mullis dies on the birthday, the anniversary date of the resurrection of the Jesuits. It's the Jews, Johnny. It's the Jews. He was a stark critic of lowercase j Jesuit Anthony Fauci. Stark critic. Why? Because Anthony Fauci is the godfather of death by AIDS. He's the godfather of death by AIDS. He made his mark on the AIDS scam. There is
100%. He's the bad guy in the Dallas Buyers Club. He's the bad guy.
Proof. Well, I got 2 words for you. It's Magic Johnson. Irvin Magic Johnson. 3 words for you. Proof. Why is he still alive? Because he got the 411. Don't take Anthony. Don't take Anthony Fauci's AZT.
Yep. That's 100% true.
There's a great. You already said this. I'm going to try and summarize it because you already know this. I'm trying to summarize it. Okay. What do they have? They had divide and conquer with the homosexual community back in the 80s. And before that, they were encouraging, particularly male homosexuals, let it gay pride, let it all hang out, get out there, have whole weekends where you're just having sex and orgies and coke and alcohol and keep yourself awake and do amyl nitrate called poppers because that little ampule would pop when you open it up. It's a muscle relaxant and an aphrodisiac, makes you want to have sex and relaxes your muscles so you can have.
Yeah, but it was like a video, like a cleaner, right? It was like some weird shit.
Awful, Sam. All this stuff these poor guys are doing to their bodies, and come Monday morning, they're wrecked, Sam.
Yep.
They're wrecked with illnesses.
It's the clean CDs. Literally, it's the clean CDs.
So somebody just was like, what happened was,
and you're putting this
cleaning and
surprise. Oh. You're getting these pustules on your lips and in your lungs and on your throat. What? Of course, because you're ingesting poison all weekend long. And even better, you're going and you think, oh, let me preempt hepatitis, which also doesn't. Let me preempt. It's a different toxin. The disease exists, but what they tell you is the reason doesn't exist. Hepatitis will give you a new. What was the name of the orphanage? We'll give you a new vaccine to protect you.
I'll fight everybody, dude.
Johnny, if you could find this for me, Geraldo Rivera, Robert Francis Kennedy. Go visit. What is the name of the orphanage? It is a hellhole up in New York, upstate New York. Begins with a W.
I don't know, dude.
RFK and Geraldo Rivera did specials on it.
I'm looking. It's in upstate New York, he said.
Yeah.
Willowbrook.
You rock. Willowbrook. Okay. This is where they developed the new vaccine for hepatitis that they gave homosexuals before they went on the parties. You know how they developed it? By making these poor kids eat their own feces.
Oh.
By keeping these kids, I kid you not, by keeping these kids in cages, by cutting the kids' skin and putting toxins into their skin. You should see the video. It will sicken you of what they did to these kids. Government facility, New York facility. They're figuring.
Is this the same one you get when you're like a newborn? The same one?
One of the 17 that they load you up with right before you come up with some kind of disease that takes away your mental faculties. Okay. Hey, Xavier, if you have, God forbid, you have a child and you know you had a healthy child before and they went all in one shot as an infant when you can at least handle all these vaccines.
Yep.
Do you know you're not allowed to sue them?
Nope.
Yep.
Do you know they're protected? They are the only industry. You know why the pharmaceutical industry is billions and billions of dollars strong? Because a guy by the name of Christian Protestant conservative hero Ronald Wilson Reagan signed a bill called the Childhood Injury Act and made it illegal for you to have a civil suit against any pharmaceutical. Heaven forbid the government should actually do their job and have a criminal suit. They know they got that in the bag.
Yep.
But now you know who you sue? If you have something and you know that you have, by the way, COVID, sudden adult death syndrome? Are you for real? Sudden adult death syndrome, sudden infant death? Where did that come from? You load the baby in to the point where you kill the baby. Oh, it must be a virus. It must be a virus, right? No. It's what you did. It's the disease is in the cure. Disease is in the cure. This is what is all about HIV and AIDS. So these homosexual guys are going out there and they're ruining their bodies. And they come into the doctor on Monday with crazy problems they've never seen before. Yeah. And they took advantage of these guys and this is a new virus. This is a new virus. Oh my goodness. This has nothing to do with your lifestyle. This has nothing to do with the crazy things you did. You had 100 partners. Yeah. What are you thinking? Okay. Yeah. Nothing to do with your lifestyle. It's a new virus. We'll test you. We'll use this new test called the PCR, and we'll tell you if you have this invisible virus, HIV.
See, this is why I pushed back on that Kerry Mullis was a good guy. Because you go, why? What is this? He goes, hey, can't really tell you anything. I go, then what is this? There's a famous video of him going, it can find whatever you're looking for.
Right.
I go, then why did you create? Well, why did you create it? And then you go, and you got a Nobel Prize for it? So that makes me think they're happy you made it.
That's why. And listen, I see I think he's a gray figure.
I think he was somebody that created something and then later on realized how dangerous it was.
He was using it to
help O.J. Simpson.
He was using it to find the jewelry of the rich and famous. He was using it to find the jewelry, go to pawn stores and collect jewelry and do his PCR on the jewelry and hope to find a DNA trail and link it to somebody famous. Hey, here's the watch of homosexual Cary Grant. Do you know Cary Grant was? Anyway, yeah. He was so a great figure. Okay, but this is how they do this. And you had Anthony Fauci, the guy, the Italian Roman Catholic. By the way, Anthony Stephen Fauci. His father was Stephen Anthony Fauci. You know what he was? He was a druggist. He was a pharmaceutical guy. Okay. So Fauci is addressing all of this. And rather than looking at what's in front of his face, which is you have a section of the population that you were encouraging to stick out. Gay pride parade. Are you kidding me? How many homosexuals really just want to be left alone? Who is out there encouraging them to have parades where they cross dress and they put their tongues down each other's throat and they scare kids. Who's really telling them to do that?
Why are there kids there? That's my biggest. If you want to go do something in your area, who am I to tell you what you can or cannot do, regardless of if you like it or not? This is when you gotta go. Do you want government or not? If you want government, then you want them to go in there. If you want people to be left alone, let them go over there. But why are you bringing kids there? And Sam, that's done on purpose.
Sam, why are there penises popping up on Disney cartoons?
Yeah, I'm with you. Subversion, dude.
Sexualization of the kids. Sexualization of the kids. They need that. They need the sexualization of kids. And so Anthony Fauci has this group of victims. And listen to me, this is what they're thinking. I promise this is what they're thinking. The homosexual community is easy pickings. Okay? We can wipe them. We can go after them. We can kill them in large numbers. And the normies, the blue pill normies, especially the Christians, will look at that and say, that's the hand of God. That's the hand of God. They will have no idea that we're the ones killing them. We're killing them with the cure. We are giving them a false disease, and then we kill them with the cure. Here's proof.
You have people die, and then you go, the only way you're going to live, maybe, is if you have this. And then what they didn't know, but there were segments of the gay community was like, you're fucking killing us with this cancer drug. And they pushed back, and of course, the internet.
And they got buried. I've got it. One of the best journalists on this was a guy named Gary Null, Null. He did a report on this. He's saying what we're saying here. And do you know the homosexual activists like ACT UP beat him down? Oh, AIDS denier. Who are you, Al Gore? AIDS denier. Yeah. They beat him down. Here's a guy who's giving the key to health to the homosexual community. Just stop having these crazy weekends. No. AIDS denier. Leave my people alone so they can continue on this very, very destructive path and eventually be killed in droves.
They kept you taking a cancer drug forever. And it's like,
Sam, when you see these poor guys that are on AZT and they're emaciated, that's chemotherapy. Okay, it's therapy. It means it's good for you. They're being poisoned. They're being poisoned. Agree. And the guy that came up with it is Anthony Fauci. Do you know that AZT was a cancer drug and they took it off the market? The FDA, we know all the FDA loves us, right? Took it off the market because it was killing people too fast, and they don't like that. You get a little bit here, a little bit there, it builds up in your body. You can never kick it back out again. And then years later, you have all these old weird problems. You can't figure, where did this come from? By the way, who are the experts at that? The Borgias. Crypto Jews? No, they were Spanish Roman Catholic. The Borgias, experts. And before them, it was the Templars. Before that, it was the Assassins. Experts in assassination. And that is the key to poisoning someone. The key to poisoning someone is the dosage. You give them just enough, and then you're long gone. And then days later, they get sick, and they have no idea what it was. That's are.
By the way, that is the exact game plan for COVID. Now, with COVID, they were always telling you it was these ventilators. Oh, these ventilators are killing them. Nah, dog. What killed them was remdesivir. Which was a fucking
Bedazzlum is another drug. Bedazzlum. Yeah.
Ebola drug that killed at a 50% rate, meaning that they gave placebo to one group and then remdesivir to another group, and it killed 50% more people.
Right.
And then they hate making these drugs and have to sit them on the shelf, so they wait for the right time. And then you had your boy Donnie Trump going, oh, dude, remdesivir is like it helped me so much. Remdesivir. And then everybody got remdesivir. And they dude, it killed these motherfuckers. And what happened was that in the early days, the remdesivir was really strong because you wanted people to die, so it creates a panic.
Right.
And then over time, after everyone takes the vaccine, ease it out, ease it out, a little less. So they're not getting the stuff that fucking was banging everybody back in the day.
That is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. It's the dosage, the amount of the dosage. And so Anthony Fauci, Jesuit trained in viruses, cut his teeth on mass murdering homosexuals. Sure. He is the name and the face of coronavirus because he proved himself in mass murdering homosexuals with the cure of AZT. Now we'll repackage it and we'll nail it 4.0. We will nail it 4.0, and now we will mass murder everybody.
If you're gay and you listen to this, thank you. Okay. If you're gay and you listen to this, do not get an AIDS test after you went hard in the paint. Wait a week, wait a month, wait time so your body can reset itself.
Right.
And if they ask you if you're gay, don't tell them you're gay. Try to go butch in there real hard.
Here's
Even if you're the most twink of twinks, be like, yeah, dog, I just spent the weekend eating pussy all night. You know, just wanted to make sure I didn't give her anything. You know, just like do your butch voice. And
now listen, and you know what? It's funny, but it's true. It's funny, but wait a minute. Why is that? Because the people getting information from you are hostile to you. They don't want to heal you. They want to manipulate you. They want to use you. And if you say the wrong thing, they will give you the wrong cure. Okay? He's absolutely correct. Here's the problem. Everything is a lie. Everything is a lie.
Yeah.
The structures that you trust are the ones betraying you. This is the reason for cancel culture. Okay? This is the reason they are desperately afraid of truth getting out. Desperately afraid.
Like,
and so they are shutting it down. Go ahead.
Like what I don't get is how there's PrEP, PrEP is like a pill you take to not get AIDS, but they can't cure it. Like, that makes no fucking sense.
But they did cure it, though. That's the whole thing, right? They said they cured it. And listen, there's things that are signs to me that the story we were told isn't real. One of them was that the Saudis were behind 9/11. I go, if the Saudis were behind 9/11, why is everybody working with them in every sport? All these patriotic motherfuckers. Because it's not real. They let it fucking go. That's why it's not. And that's the whole thing. And what did you just say? What was the example?
No, I was saying how there's this pill called PrEP, which makes you not get AIDS, but they can't cure it.
So when they cured AIDS, nobody got excited. If that was a real thing, there would be celebrations in the streets. The man or woman or whatever that cured AIDS would be getting their own statues everywhere if it was real.
Xavier, if you took the clot shot, do you still have a chance of getting COVID if you took the clot shot?
Yep.
Yes, they tell you it
that's
doesn't.
Not true. Rachel Maddow told me that if you get the shot, it ends with you. One person gets the shot, and it ends
still
with
on
them.
TV, dude.
If there's
still on TV,
if there's a medical expert, it's Bill Gates and Rachel Maddow. I trust them both implicitly. Piers Morgan's another one. You know what religion? He's Jewish. Oh no, he's Catholic. Another discredited news guy. His
YouTube channel, by the way. I was just looking. Piers Morgan. I was looking at just going down the list of videos, the screenshots, and it's just all faces of people just going like, "Fuck you, bitch."
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You're
all
totally
negative
right,
energy.
dude.
It's so negative, dude.
Because it's uncensored. It's uncensored, Johnny. What'd you expect when you have Mars Piers uncensored?
Yeah.
this is what's behind. Real quick, he's a big part of this on the migrant issue in England. And what are they telling you? They're telling you Tommy Robinson is your hero. And what is he building? He's building an army of crusaders to take care of the Muslim hordes, just like centuries ago when you had the Ottomans that were plaguing the world. And we needed the Crusaders. October 7th. What's October 7th? October 7th is oh my goodness, I brain froze it.
Yeah,
it's the Templar battle at sea. Templar battle at sea, the battle of oh my goodness, I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Very good.
It's okay.
Lepanto, 1571. Where the Templars,
I knew that. I just wanted to let you work through
it. Thank you.
Yeah,
I feel more reward.
Dude, we want you to work through the
I feel like accomplished.
equation.
Okay. How about this? The global war on terror was kicked off in Afghanistan. Operation Enduring Freedom. When did Operation Enduring Freedom begin? October 7th.
Oh, snaps.
October 7th. Now, if October 7th is the great glorious victory over the Crusaders over the Muslims, why are the Muslims picking it as the day for their breakout rape fest against Israelis? Do they want to honor? Oh, by the way, it's also the feast of Our Lady of Victory, Queen of Heaven. Okay? Why is secular separation church of state America launching the global war on terror, as far as I know, still going on today? Still going on today. On October 7th to honor the Crusader victory against the Muslims. Must be the Jews. It's the Jews, right? Okay? Previous to this, right? The Israeli military, they have like sensors that can pick up a cat farting along this wall, right? Yeah. But on October 7th, everybody's looking the other way. Where were you guys? Isn't that your job? Okay. All of a sudden, and now they're running away. Here's what I believe, Sam. I believe, to make it real, I believe. So what did they start there? They have a population. You look this up. They have a population that is just brutalized and beat down. Brutalized. And you know how they do it? It's not just the Israelis. Controlled opposition on their side. Yasser Arafat, absolute controlled opposition. May have been a Freemason, absolutely a blackmail homosexual.
Right.
Okay. He was skimming off the people were out of the love of their hearts sending food and goods to the Palestinians. And he was taking it, skimming it, making sure they were miserable. Miserable. They don't know. They look at the Israelis, they blame them. So
you could say that about too is Cuba. Castro,
absolutely.
French nobility.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's the conventional narrative, at least that came out later, was that Arafat kind of sabotaged the peace deals multiple times too, which is, if you believe that, I know Clinton said that.
You can blame him. The bottom line is they sabotage it on purpose. The machine did not want any peace deal, whether they used Arafat as their pawn or puppet. The bottom line is they don't want peace. The same with the Cold War. Okay. I don't want to go down this rabbit trail. I have to real quick. The same with the Cold War. I am absolutely convinced. All right. Lee Oswald, he's under the tutelage at the Civil Air Patrol of David Ferry. David Ferry was homosexual and what religion? He was Jewish. Oh, no, he was Catholic. As a matter of fact, he was training to be a priest, David Ferry. Okay. Training to be a priest. He was Jesuit trained and all he wanted to do was be a priest. And he was also homosexual. And he may have had Oswald as a conquest under the Civil Air Patrol. Oswald, controlled by the Mossad? No, the CIA. Ferry, controlled by the Mossad? No, the CIA. All CIA, all out of New Orleans, and many of these guys homosexual as ways of manipulation.
So the gays run the world, the gays.
Well, it's not that they run the world, so they're blackmailed. Is that
I get it, dude. And that's a big part of why I will never get behind this kind of, as we swing from those crazy progressive left all the way over to the conservative right or the extreme right. I'm just never going to get into that, dude. I'm just never going to get that far because that's where the blackmail happens. Right. When you tell people, if because you're into this one thing. Listen, as long as you're not hurting people, in particular children, you're not going to hear from me. Do it at home. Fly your freak flag at home. I don't want to hear it. It's your thing between consenting adults. And if it's a God thing, I understand. That's between them and God. God gave us free will. They will be judged at that point. I'm not going to sit here and bring in the government to regulate that shit. If they're not hurting people, in particular children, I don't want to hear anything fucking about it. And there's no more dangerous person than a blackmail closeted gay.
And that's what they run off of. That's the whole, that was okay. So how is Jeffrey Epstein a household word? Are you kidding me? A guy that was supposedly a child trafficker, and we're hearing about him on all the mainstream news. Are you kidding me? Have you heard about any of the other trafficking issues like so-called the Franklin cover-up? The Franklin cover-up, right? Out of Omaha, Nebraska. They were exactly the same thing. So in the political spectrum,
you're right.
You have the hardcore.
Led to George Bush.
Absolutely. Why? Why? Because in politics, you have the hardcore rabid left, and they're all Jews, right? Like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and the Kumos and the Trudeau son of Trudeau. They're Jewish, right? No, they're all Catholic.
You got me again. Damn it. Oh,
they're all Catholic, dude. They're all Catholic and generational. Like I've been telling, feudalism. Generational Catholic, handing power, father to son, the daughter to mother. Okay? Dingle. Look that one up. Okay. The Dingles, leftist Catholics out of Michigan, and I think Detroit, have owned a congressional seat for a century.
Damn, bro. That's just like in California.
The father handed it to the son, and he maintained that seat for like 60 years. He was married to a woman 30 years his junior. He dropped dead in his seat. She took his seat. The Dingles have owned, the leftist Catholic Dingles have owned a congressional seat. And remember, Congress, you get reelected every 2 years. A century, never challenged. Real quick, I'm all over the place. I want to go back to Harvey Oswald. I know I'm running out of time. But let me get to, who are the biggest criminal organizations in the world? Okay, so you already saw this, you know this. How is it that you get arrested by the government for trafficking drugs? Because you're not on the team.
Yep.
Because you're not on the team.
100%.
Okay. Ask a reporter from the San Jose Mercury News named Gary Webb. You heard of Gary Webb? Poor Gary Webb broke the story back in the 80s of the CIA trafficking coke.
Yeah.
What? Wait a minute. Trafficking coke, conducting LSD mind control experiments on unwitting innocent Americans. Are you kidding me? Okay. Taking children and torturing them to make them sex slaves. America's most hated enemies could only dream of doing to America what the CIA and the FBI did. I love Oliver Stone. You know, Oliver Stone was teaching in a Catholic school in Vietnam before he became famous, right? That's just a coincidence, okay? Love JFK. Great movie, JFK. Love the scene in JFK where the FBI is cross-examining the witnesses and they say, okay, how many shots are here? I heard 5 shots. No, you didn't. You heard 2 shots. Are you out of your mind? I was there. No, you heard. What does the FBI do? The FBI's job is to go in and manage and manipulate. You know who founded the FBI? A devout Jew, a devout Roman Catholic, a daily mass Roman Catholic named Charles Joseph Bonaparte, a great grandnephew of Napoleon Bonaparte. It's the Jews, Johnny. It's the Jews. You know who founded the CIA? A Wall Street war profiteer DuPont lawyer named William Donovan, a devout Roman Catholic knight of Saint Sylvester, I believe. Okay. There are myths and legends surrounding this guy so that even people in our community call him Wild Bill. Wow. What do you call him Wild Bill for? Because, he was such a daring dude. A Roman Catholic. So who wields real power? Who wields power? Jews or Jesuits? Okay. I can show you, I have line after line, list after list after list of people who are Catholic, trained by Catholics, trained by Jesuits, CIA directors, assistant directors, FBI directors. Okay. Where are the Jews at? They're in Hollywood. They're in journalism. They're in banking.
So this is because we're deep into this. I have to have a little pushback because you are saying everything I believe. But I also there are Jews though that are involved in the power structure.
You said it, managers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say I've said this before. The Jesuits, the Freemasons, the Zionists, they're all middle managers in this. But and again, my girlfriend is starting to think I hate Jews. She's like, I've been listening.
That's all she sees.
Jews. I go, I don't hate Jews. I love Jews. I lived with a Jew for 22 years. I love Jews. Jews are great, dude. My whole position is that there should be no protected classes and there should be no special treatment. Everyone should be treated equally. That's all I've ever said. So and listen to me, I've been saying what you were saying a long time ago, get my dick kicked on the internet, because I said Jesuits are involved 100%. But
here's the problem,
Jews involved though, right?
Here's what's important. I'm not saying that. They're managers. They're middle management. This is a war, Sam. Johnny Xavier, this is a war against you. And in the war, you need a military mindset. You need to go after the head of the Hydra that won't grow back. You can do all you want against Jews. You can do all you want against Mormons. You can do all you want against Illuminati. Oh, the deep state. How do I fight the deep state? How do I fight the Illuminati? That's by design. They don't want you to know who to fight. You need to know if you fight this group and win, you've won the war. And to me, that's what I'm trying to sell you on. That's what I've seen. That's what I've written 5 books on. It's not the Jesuits are players along with Jews and Masons. I'm telling you, these are the people who are experts all the way back to military Rome. They are experts in control and slavery and manipulation. And they have things these other groups don't have. I'll tell you right now, real quick, what the Catholic Church has that no other group has. The confessional.
Yeah,
the confessional.
100%.
They have guilt.
We could say that's the first wiretapping.
Okay, so a guy by the name of Everett Howard Hunt, they was doing a documentary called a Coup Made in America about the 1954 overthrow of Jacob Benz in Guatemala. A true believer. I was going to tell you, the political in America, you have the rabid hardcore left, and then you have the phonies, the blackmailed phonies on the right, fed little boys, fed children, okay? And so what they leak out is Stormy Daniels. But meanwhile, it goes a lot deeper than that. Oh, yeah, look, she's hot. Yeah, go,
I've said
Donald.
this before, I got shit on it, but I was telling people.
It goes much deeper than that. They purposefully
sold Epstein as, hey, dude, they're high school chicks, bro. Come on. High school chicks like to have fun, and it's like, I guarantee you
crushed it. You crushed it. It's much deeper than that. They selectively released what is palatable to the public, and they
you get into Epstein, you get into like Nexium. There's the Brothman group. There's the Mega group. There is, let's say, Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father was a Mossad agent. There are multiple, there's attacks on multiple fronts
but they've used them for that purpose. They were used so that when you look this deep, that's what you see. You look a little deeper. That's what I'm saying. Look a little deeper and you see more. Let's look at Epstein real quick. He's a household name. You've never heard of any of these other traffickers. The kids that came out of the Franklin cover-up. What's a Franklin cover-up? The little boys that came out of the Franklin cover-up you've never heard of. Where did they come from? Boys Town. It's not the Franklin cover-up.
Yep,
it's the Boys Town cover-up. They were taking boys from a Catholic orphanage. And who is Lawrence King? And nobody. He was the pimp. He was the front man. The real action was going on. Charlie Manson. Talk about Charlie Manson. They put a judge put Charlie Manson in Boys Town. He was there for 2 weeks and he ran the F away. There was something going on there that scared him. And for all I know, that put the target on his back.
Bro, you want to talk about Jesuits right now?
How dare you?
I read this thing right now. Cuomo dominates again in New York City poll. Now, polls are bullshit, but the fact that he's even in the discussion.
He should be running for his life, dude. He should be running from hordes.
New York City can't save itself.
Cuomo, son of Cuomo. Cuomo, son of Cuomo, brother of Cuomo. Feudalism. And it's the 1-2 punch of power and power and propaganda. So you got Daddy Cuomo, far left Roman Catholic, governor of New York. You've got Andy Cuomo, far left from. And what did Andy Cuomo do before he became governor? He was the top cop. He was the attorney general. He proved himself a corruptocrat to take the crimes and sweep them under the carpet for the machine. He proved himself, just like a guy by the name of Keir Starmer. Director of public prosecution before he became prime minister, proved himself in Saville proved himself at Hillsborough. Nothing to see at Hillsborough. You got hundreds of people being trampled to death because the South Yorkshire police didn't do their job. Nothing to see here, says Keir Starmer. Jimmy Savile. Decades he's raping kids with the collusion of both the Catholic Church and the British government. Keir Starmer, nothing to see here. Surprise, surprise, he's prime minister now. He's prime minister. Andrew Cuomo, attorney general, guy by the name of Josh Shapiro, the Jewish Josh Shapiro, attorney general in Pennsylvania. Where did he learn his lawyering from? The Jesuits at Georgetown. What's more important, the guy in the spotlight or the people behind him pulling the strings? The people who trained him in his job. He's now governor of Pennsylvania.
They're lining him up for big stuff, too. You can tell he's the other
Absolutely.
guy.
He proved himself right before when he was attorney general. He had a big arrest report. They did a big report on priest rape on the western part of the state. They released the report. How many priests were arrested? None. Who? He proved himself. What was Kamala Harris? She was attorney general of San Francisco because she slept with Willie Brown, had an adulterous affair with Willie Brown. That showed that she was willing to be compromised. And then from there, as soon as she became attorney general in San Francisco, she took the priest rape cases and swept them under the carpet. And from there, it was a United States senator. And from there, right to the top. The running mate of Mafioso Joe, who's a black Freemason, by the way. Did you know that? A black Freemason. Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
You know who else seems like they proved themselves? The Vegas sheriff when gets sent over to Hawaii sheriff. What a coincidence.
Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
The bump stock killer. How many was up there bump stock killing? And by the way, each and every time, these are false flags. You've already had Ole on the show. Keep working him. This guy I love him. Ole is the best. Ole Damagard. And if you guys are trying to wake people up, nothing wakes them up better than false flag, FF, the false flag. Okay? Building 7. How is it that 2 airliners made engineering history and got 5 skyscrapers, certainly 3, all right, 7, to pancake into their own footprint? Never happened before, never happened again. How is it that an aircraft pulled a civilian airliner pulled a 9G corkscrew turn to slam into the accounting department at the Pentagon? Oh, real quick, go look up the Farnese family villa. It's a spitting image of the Pentagon. Spitting image. Oh, it's the Jews, Johnny. The Farnese, Aldo Brandini.
No, I'm with you on that, dude. There's definitely the highest banking bank.
The Medici. You heard of Rothschild, pal. Right?
But there are Zionists involved with 9/11, dude.
They need it. They need the Zionists. If you're not looking at Jerusalem, what are you going to look at? What's the next biggest ancient city that's going to draw your attention? They need the Zionism. They feed them. Israel is the people, the poor people in Israel, the nobodies are just as beat. Israel is one of the most vaccinated nations in the world. Okay?
I'm starting to think they were given a placebo.
That's hard to prove or disprove because you're not allowed to look at it. But
I think they are.
So listen to
They're
this.
Having a giant birth rate there. It's kind of crazy.
Who there is when you're examining a plot like that, you've got a lot of moving cogs, okay? You can't have too many moving cogs for a plot like that. That's hard to keep down. But if you've got something that you can only have and you compartmentalize and you only know it at the top, that's a lot easier to do. Okay? But when you're vaccinating millions of people and you're giving them a different vaccine that will allow them to survive when nobody else is surviving, you've got to have a lot of people involved in that. So to me, I don't know. Possible. It's absolutely possible. But, you got guys like Jesuit-trained Roman Catholic Robert Francis Adultery Jr., who's saying the vaccine was engineered to avoid hurting Jews. What? Give me something on it. Give me some proof. Names, places, and dates. No. Who told you to say that? Jesuit-trained. A Jesuit-trained Kennedy, lawyer, politician, millionaire. And he's our outsider hero. Another Kennedy, Jesuit-trained Roman Catholic outsider pardon me, politician lawyer. Okay. And by the way, his third wife is Jewish, an actress. Okay. At this point, Sam, I'm telling you, these marriages are arranged. Ruth, Melania, I teasingly call her melanoma, was gifted to Trump by P2 Italian Freemasons. What's Melania's religion? Jewish. Oh, no, she's Catholic. She's Eastern European Catholic. She's a presidential model, don't you know? Gifted. How many of Trump's kids have married Jews? I'm convinced it's arranged.
Ivanka Trump takes Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh,
are you talking about? Are you talking about Donald Trump's mistress?
No, I'm talking about who's the daughter, Ivana?
His mistress?
Oh, Donald Trump has a mistress.
Look up Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, inappropriate. Look up Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, inappropriate.
You are going deep, bro.
Look up the picture of teenage Ivanka on his lap, and he's smiling like a Cheshire cat. And right down below them is a statue of two parrots having sex.
Oh my God!
He has talked about her weird too, man.
Yeah, he has. Thank you. Thank you.
Fired,
if she weren't my daughter, I'd be dating him. If she weren't my daughter, I'd be dating her, he said. How many pictures do they have of her in an inappropriate? They told the girls at The View. What do you have in common with your daughter? Well, I'd like to say sex, but I wouldn't. Joy Behar. Oh, you're so weird, are you? Woody Allen?
That's definitely weird.
Dude, if you're giving a guy the most powerful office in the world, do you want him that blackmailed?
Yes.
Do you want him that blackmailed? How about Barack Obama? Okay. Sexual deviancy. That poor guy. That poor guy is a mess. That
one's pretty bad. That one's pretty bad.
Here's one, a Rolling Stone interview. He says, if I weren't happily married and, her father.
How about what he told when Howard Stern?
Weird, man.
Right. Dude, it's so disgusting.
Howard Stern to Donald Trump. Hey, can I say this? Your daughter, a piece of ass. Can I say that? His response? Yeah, she is. Yeah. This guy is blackmailed, guys. This guy is why? Okay, where have you seen in previous
Sam, what's the reaction to that? Future, someone says your daughter that.
No, I'm not cool with it.
Right, it's not cool. Yeah,
but I also know that they're going to be grown women and they're going to do their thing, and I have to detach from what I know about the world.
Howard Stern tells you, your daughter, your beautiful daughter, she's a piece of ass.
I'd be like, that's not cool,
come on, dude, Howard, come on, don't fill over the top. That's my daughter, dude. Come on, not cool.
I get it. It's like but no, I'd be like, no, I'm not cool with that. Thank you.
Where was Donald Trump trained? Which school did he go to? He went to Jesuit Fordham for 2 years, and then he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, which I have information is secretly controlled all the way from the beginning. Old Hellfire Club Benjamin Franklin got in a drug deal with the Jesuits. University of Pennsylvania.
Franklin was shady, and he might have signed a deal with the British Crown to pay them taxes for eternity.
When they investigated his apartments in, was it London? They found bodies underneath of it from the experiments that were going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Control. It's all about control. FBI, CIA owned. I know I'm over time. I really, there's so much more to talk about.
No, it's all good, dude.
The Franklin thing is fascinating too, though, because if he's supposed to be one of their best minds, but they send him away during the conflict. He's in Europe for most of the, the heat of the revolution. He was in France, which is
why are so many of the founders Freemasons, secret keepers. I'm praying for you, pal. I'm praying for you. Watch yourself. I think you're being groomed, Sam. Be careful. There is.
Hold on. What are you saying?
Groomed.
Watch groomed.
Who is
groomed? Who? I don't know. Maybe your buddy AG Gregorov.
Who? Alex Jones?
No, AG. Your buddy that sells $8,000 sandals.
Oh, come on. Really? You think AG? Oh my God, dude, that's so crazy.
No, is it crazy? Is it crazy that he might eventually someday invite you to become a Freemason? Does that sound crazy?
Dude, that is crazy pull on that
I'm
one.
telling you, it's possible.
Dude, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. We were at the San Francisco. Were you there, Xavier? Were you on the road with us at this time? They came to us at a comedy show and they were like, we'd like to show you the lodge. And we're like, no, thank you. And we just moved on.
They already did. They already did proposition you. You're proving my point, bro. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Well, dude, I'm like indie, bro. Listen, I'm going to set the record straight right now. I have no desire to join any fucking thing. Okay. I don't want to be in any group. I don't even like I'm trying to get the fuck out of Hollywood. I don't want to be a part of anything. Johnny and I were just talking about last night on Broken Sim. I would love to have a successful podcast that no one knew who I was. That's all I want. I just want nothing to do with any of this. I want nothing to do with any of it. I just want to live in my house, raise my kids, and just talk conspiracies and be left the fuck alone. You don't have to worry about me getting groomed, dog.
Most of the people who are Freemasons, though, aren't they? I mean, the ones we've talked to on the show, the rare ones, just say that, hey, most of that crazy shit's way beyond anything the average guy deals with. That's it. Just like any other organization.
It's hard to prove or disprove, Johnny. That's hard to prove or disprove.
What I'm going to ask you, though, is what's your intuition about it? Do you think that's true or that's a deceit?
The Freemasons are secret keepers. What are you keeping secrets for? What are you keeping secrets for? Okay. It's an insider track. No Christian has any business being in a secret. What are you doing? You're selling your soul. You're giving up your loyalty. You do this for me. It's a favor for a favor. Favor for a favor.
So you don't think the God in Freemasonry is the Christian God? Is what
you're saying? Absolutely not. Okay. He is Lucifer, the light bearer. He is Prometheus. Prometheus, the demigod who was cast down simply because he stole the fire from Olympus, the light of knowledge. What do you need? Do you need knowledge? You need love. What did Paul say? Knowledge makes arrogant. Love edifies. Love edifies. What is love? Love is a conscious decision to sacrifice, just like Christ did on the cross. Okay. You don't need secret insider knowledge. There is no conformity there's no reason for a Christian to sell their soul to a secret organization to get ahead. Many people believe that Billy Graham. Many people believe Billy Graham did. A guy by the name of Jim Shaw was writing about the very famous preacher who was there when Jim Shaw became a 33-degree Freemason, and many people believe that's Billy Graham. So they would sell to Billy Graham, hey, you want to pack football stadiums? Be in our club. Be in our group. We will pack them for you. You want to get ahead? Hey, how about this, Johnny? How many Freemasons are in key positions? What do you need? Secret Franklin Roosevelt, all of the early NASAholes, all the early NASA astronauts. Okay. What are you keeping secrets for? And when they step in line, they have no problem beating them down. Just ask poor Gus Grissom.
Well, okay. I do know. I mean, we talked about this before on here, but there are stories littered throughout the history of warfare of Freemasonry being a loyalty above national loyalty. Guys that crossed enemy lines to save other Freemasons, especially in the American Civil War. There were guys who saved other guys and spared them.
Absolutely. And you know what rises above that?
The hand signal or whatever.
Johnny, you know what rises above that? Religion. Religion, Catholicism rises above that, because you may fear the Freemasonry from poor Gus Grissom, the Freemason, the NASA astronaut who hung a lemon on his lunar lander. And then within a week, he and two innocent guys, White and Chaffee, were all burned alive. Who burns alive their victims? Real quick. Nobody. Okay. Who chops off heads? A guy by the name of Ignaz Guillotin. Ignaz, named after Ignacio Lopez, the founder of the Jesuits. He's the one that created the machine that chops off heads, trained by the Jesuits. Okay. No entity has murdered more Christians tortured and murdered more Christians in the sovereign city-state of Rome. No entity. No entity. There are volumes. They're called Fox's Book of Martyrs. No entity. You talk about the Crusades, right? Everybody gets in. For the Muslims, against the Muslims. What were the Crusades? You ask the average person on the average blue pill herd immunity sheeple on the normie on the street. What were the Crusades? The Crusades were when those Christians went to the Holy Land and killed Muslims and Jews. Sorry, hands, wrong guess. Crusades were Catholic wars against the enemies of Rome, and that includes Christians in Europe. The Valdenses and Albigenses were Bible-believing Christians who were mass murdered by Roman Catholic Crusader knights who threw them off the Alps, women and children. Nobody's heard of that. Hidden history. Nobody's heard of that. Guy by the name of Innocent III. I love these names. Innocent III, right? Sent crusaders into the Alps to mass murder Christians for believing the Bible. What were the Dark Ages? The Dark Ages were Rome keeping the Bible hidden in Latin for a 1,000 years.
What about St. Patty's Day?
Right, a guy who was a born-again
Roman
Christian.
Catholics slaughtering pagans in Ireland.
I will tell you that St. Patrick is not a saint. Do you know why? Because he was a Christian. He was a born-again Christian. He's not a saint. Patrick was a good Christ-fearing.
He was a good man. No, go on. Sorry.
Christ-fearing man, and he's not a saint to this day because he urged people not to blindly follow religion such as Rome. And he's not a saint to this day.
There is an argument that the 10-headed beast in the Bible is the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church.
Sam, what entity is clothed in scarlet and purple, drunk on the blood of the saints? Revelation 17. It breeds the Catholic Church. Who is the great harlot riding the beast? Rome, who masquerades as being on your side, a Christian entity, but is in reality syncretistic paganism. Not to step on Xavier's toes, but where does the mother and child come from? That comes from Babylonian paganism, dude. Read a book called Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop. He goes deep into, so the basis of Christianity is love Jesus, go to heaven. Have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Can you have a personal relationship with a baby Christ being held by his mother? No. Can you have a personal relationship with the heart of Christ? No. Can you have a personal relationship with the hands of Christ, the feet of Christ? All of these are mechanisms to keep people from being saved. All of these are mechanisms to keep people distracted, to insert in between them the priest, the bishop, the cardinal, the pope.
Yeah.
The vicarious
abstraction to it, right? I got you.
Yes. The vicarious filii Dei. If you spell vicarious filii Dei in Latin, what's the number, the numerology, the gematria number you come up with? 666. The Pontifex Maximus, the great bridge builder. Where is he building a bridge? We only have one bridge. We have one Jacob's ladder. It's Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the literal Jacob's ladder. We don't need a go-between. Do you know, thanks to Unum Sanctum, you all are owned. We're all owned by the Catholic Church. Whether you like it or not, according to Unum Sanctum, was it 1301? You are all owned by the Catholic Church, whether you know it or not. According to what King John Plantagenet did in 1213, England is owned by the Catholic Church because of an investiture controversy. A long story. I don't want to keep it another time. Long story. Did you know that King John, if you see him in all the Robin Hood movies, the squirrely little King John, everybody hates because he's a cockroach. He's a crap. It's much better. Richard, the Lionheart, his brother, he went and fought the Crusades for his church. John stayed home and beat down the people. So the problem, there's this thing called investiture. I'm going to hit it real quick, okay? So Roman Catholicism, did you know that evil communist China pays $2 billion in Peter's Pence tribute to the Vatican today? $2 billion. A real estate mogul by the name of Gao Wengui. I hope I'm saying that right. who's a friend of Stephen Kevin Bannon. Stephen Kevin Bannon, a banker trained by the Jesuits, Goldman Sachs, and he is what religion? He's Jewish? Nope, he's Catholic. As a matter of fact, Stephen Kevin Bannon, he was the Johnny on the spot for when poor Andrew Breitbart had his sudden heart attack. He could just step in and take over all of Breitbart.com and redirect it the same way that a guy by the name of John DeCamp. Go look up the Franklin scandal, right? The Franklin scandal. Why are we calling the Franklin the Boys Town scandal? Because the guy that was behind the original book, The Franklin Scandal, by the way, that wasn't changed. The guy that was behind the book, The Franklin Scandal, not the guy by the name of John DeCamp. What was John DeCamp's background? John DeCamp worked for the CIA in Vietnam. He was on the Phoenix Project. Who was his boss? Roman Catholic Saigon Station Chief Bill Colby. Bill Colby, the warrior priest, would go on to become director of the CIA. And John DeCamp is the guy that outs the Franklin scandal for us. That's why we're calling the Franklin scandal. John DeCamp said he was in an interview with the prefect for the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith. Who is that? That's the Inquisition today. Who was the prefect for the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith? A guy by the name of Joseph Ratzinger, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger. He took John DeCamp aside and said, hey, listen, you got to put a lid on this thing. It's coming out. We are blackmailing. He didn't say this. We were blackmailing. What was the process? The process was you've got the hardcore leftist politicians, but you have to have Republicans, and they're all blackmailed with little boys. That's the game. Why is it the Republicans never win a victory? When Republicans had, you remember when the Republicans, who was, what's his name? So Boehner, and then Paul, what's it? Boehner, Jewish, right?
Yeah.
No, Catholic. Catholic. Who took over him? What's his name? Paul something or other took over for him. Catholic, altar boy. Right? When the Republicans took back Congress after Obamacare, he had nothing to do with it. 2,000 pages. What does he have to do with it? His teleprompter told him sign here. And Joe Biden this is a big effing deal. Joe Biden, the guy standing behind him. Okay. The lowercase j Jesuit standing behind poor Barack Obama can't talk to sixth graders without having a teleprompter in front of him. Okay. Who controls? When the Republicans retook Congress, they had the perfect opportunity to undo everything. They did nothing. What victories have the Republicans ever given? They are a paper tiger. That's the hard left and the phony right. So don't ever believe it's anything but that.
I agree.
Real quick. So Roman Catholicism is an insurgency through the believers. Think about this. Why is communist China paying $2 billion a year to the Vatican in tribute? What is this? A feudal fiefdom? A medieval kingdom?
Dude, that's so crazy.
So what about the Eastern churches? Are they also kind of part of this big are they included
only much as Johnny, only as much as they've been controlled, only as much as they've been captured and owned. Okay. Orthodoxy, if you look at Daniel chapter 2 and the statue, the dream that Nebuchadnezzar had of the statue of the four metals, the head of gold, the arms of silver, the stomach of brass, I believe it was, and the legs of iron, and the feet of iron and mixed with miry clay. Many scholars believe, and I'm one of them, that the two legs, one is Orthodoxy and the other is Catholicism. But it's not even. They are owned. Orthodoxy is owned. Only the best, well-read Orthodox will tell you. I've never heard this from Jay Dyer, Jesuit. I've never heard the word Jesuit from Jay Dyer. Only the best.
Shots fired.
Shots across the bow. Never heard the word Jesuit from Jay. Will tell you that the Roman Catholic Church.
You've been going big game hunting today.
Bro, I know you're tight.
I'm going to get a compromise, or you're going after fucking.
I am here to step to true. Listen, I honestly believe this. And I've got to say it because I honestly believe it. Absolutely control. Okay, look at a guy like Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, a mass murdering monster, responsible for at least 40 million Russian deaths. 40 million. Nobody's heard of it. Nobody knows. Okay. Oh, it's all Adolf Hitler, 6 million Jews. We don't even 6 million Jews. Okay. Joseph Stalin was a priest, became a priest at a seminary in Tiflis, Georgia. He was a Georgian, not a Russian. That's one of the methods they use. All of these Catholic clergy, they're never from where they're serving. Their diocese, they're never born there. So they can be insulated from the people they're committing crimes against. That's exactly what Joseph Stalin was. He was a Georgian who hated Russia and was happy to mass murder Russians and send them to the gulags. He wasn't an Orthodox priest. He was a Jesuit priest. I've got it from his biographer, Emil Ludwig. Emil Ludwig heard him say the Jesuits secretly took over the Orthodox seminary of Tiflis. They actually ran it. Proof. Okay, more proof. Ukraine is such a hotbed. Who's in Ukraine? The CIA have owned. The Jesuit CIA have owned. The Catholic Church has owned Ukraine. It has been the soft underbelly against Russia for generations. All the way back. Here's the choices in World War II. You can pick Adolf Hitler. You can pick Joseph Stalin, a Jesuit or a Jesuit. You're going to get mass murder. Have you heard of the Holodomor?
Yes.
The Holodomor. Nobody's heard of this. 7 million Ukrainians starved to death needlessly by Joseph Stalin. 7 million. Imagine as your life ebbs from you and you're looking at your baby sitting there, whatever. Imagine that. Terrible movie. That was kind of, I think this movie, Mr. Jones, I think this movie was designed to release the truth, the historical truth, to get people pissed off at Russia. It's not Russia. It's the machine. It's the demonic Jesuit machine embodied by Joseph Stalin that was doing this. Okay? That's the choice of the Ukrainians. To this day, those poor guys. Okay? They're in the middle. And me personally, I think it's I think it's a wag the dog war. I don't think it's really a war at all. I've seen a lot of evidence of things not happening as we're told. I think it's a wag the dog war, and I think it's the exit strategy for the scam. Pardon me. Did I say scamdemic? For the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was an exit strategy for the pandemic. Okay?
I agree.
So they wag the dog. Real quick, tribute. What happens? Catholicism is an insurgency. It's a religion. It's an insurgency. Okay? Because Catholics owe their loyalty to the Pope, not the king. Just like you guys were saying about Freemasonry. Just like Johnny was saying about Freemasonry. It's a higher loyalty. It's a conflict of loyalty. That's why supposedly when America was founded, it was illegal for a Catholic to vote because they knew it was just giving the Pope all this political power. I don't even know that I follow this because supposedly it was illegal for a Catholic to vote in Maryland, the colony founded by Catholics for Catholics. Is another story. Roman Catholicism is an insurgency. Okay. Why would communist Chinese give $2 billion a year in tribute to the Catholic Church? Because there's an or else that the Jesuit Pope will do. And what is the or else? It's the same thing he would do, has done across millennia to Catholic kings and queens. And imagine you're a Catholic king or queen, right? You could give a crap. So particularly in England, this is a big deal. It's called investiture. Who has power? This is a military organization. You've got priests, you've got bishops, you've got cardinals. Okay. And in England, you have the Archbishop of Canterbury, which is like a miniature pope. Okay. It's a military organization and it goes wherever the leader tells it to go. Very, very powerful. The leader's the Pope, not the King of England. What do you want? You want the machine to follow you. You don't want the machine to follow the Pope. It's called investiture. So when the mini Pope in Canterbury opens up, you want to put your guy in. Pope's going to put his guy in. This argument has called investiture. This argument has occurred many, many times. This is what happened to John, happened to his father, Henry II. Thomas Becket, the Thomas Becket affair, where supposedly Henry is like, oh, this guy, this archbishop, he's disloyal. Will someone rid me of this traitor? And supposedly some knights overheard that and they slaughtered him on the altar. What do you want to give a propaganda victory? That's exactly what happened. And so Henry had to grovel before the Pope. The same thing happened to his son, John. The same thing. John had Stephen Langton, the guy that had no idea what he was doing when he put the verses and the chapters in the Bible. Stephen Langton was the Archbishop of Canterbury. He wasn't John's choice. John knew that he would be loyal to Rome. John wanted someone loyal to England. loyal to him. And so he had this argument trying to pull him out. And the Pope said, John Wick excommunicado. Where's that? Where's that? Excommunicado. All right, big deal. So I'm kicked out of the Catholic Church. What happens next? The Pope then tells millions of Britons, you no longer need to be loyal to your king. He's excommunicated. Now, the woman that makes his food is an assassin. The sweet little Hispanic lady cleans his toilet is an assassin. There's an assassin everywhere. Not every Catholic is an assassin, but every assassin is a Catholic. Okay? They are afraid for his life. Once you're excommunicated, you've got millions of a foreign military in your country. That's what the Communist Chinese are worried about to this day, because there's a huge Catholic population, and that's why they give $2 billion in tribute. Oh, it's the Jews, Johnny. It's the Jews. They control with souls. They control with souls. You sitting in a confessional, and the priest goes and he knows you by name. Xavier, my son, the Holy Father needs you for this. He needs you to make Sam sick and take over his show. He needs you to do this. He needs you. He's got an agenda. He's going to hand you to this later. The Holy Father, it's your soul, Xavier. Your soul is at risk. And I'm kind of being flippant. It's the way you can say. You believe this. You believe this because your structure, the priest, the bishop, the cardinal, and the pope, they own your soul. That's religion. As soon as human beings step in between you and Jesus Christ, they've won. You're a slave. They control you. They've owned this for millennia. All organized religion own this for millennia.
I mean, but I want to tell him my sins. I want to go in a little confession box and tell him all my sins.
And he will own you. And he will own
everything about
you. And he will own
and that's
your
how they hold
guilt.
you by the balls.
So yes. So give you a quick example of what is it? The Keepers on Netflix. The Keepers, right? So you had priests in a Catholic high school, Archbishop Keogh in Baltimore, Maryland. Lord Baltimore, the great Catholic aristocrat that created Maryland for the Catholics. Okay. And they are raping kids. And what are they doing there? They're listening to the kids in the confessional. And when the kids say one victim, you'll see it if you watch like 7-part series.
Oh, shit.
They'll see it. Okay. So one girl said, my uncle is raping me. And the priest, Maskell, says, oh, did you like it? How'd you feel about that? And then he honed in and he started raping her. And he started passing her around to his brother, the cop. He was a military chaplain. He started passing her around to military officers. None of this came out when it was happening. That's real power. Is it the Jews? None of this came out when it was happening. Years later, the cops, the prosecutors, they're all bought. Years later, we'll have a documentary on it because everybody's dead and gone. And the victims have been paid off because that's what you do is shut them up. Whereas one woman, and what's the purpose of the documentary? It's all built on one nun, Kathy Sesnick, who was at risk of blowing the whistle. At risk of blowing the whistle. When they found out that she might blow the whistle on this child trafficking, that's when she was raped and murdered, possibly by John Podesta.
Damn.
Oh.
A guy by the name of Skippy. And Skippy is an alter ego for John Podesta. John Podesta, a Jesuit seminarian, trained to be a Jesuit priest, but supposedly just like David Ferry dropped out, never really became a Jesuit himself. Oh, it's the Jews, Johnny. It's the Jews. Creepy is right. Creepy is right. Right? All the way down to what is it? The Comet ping pong pizza. Right? And then the guy that the Welsh, Brad, what's his name? 3 names Welsh, Bradley, grape Welsh. Right? And he takes out a deadly AR-15 and fires one shot. Boom, right into the computer memory. Come on. How stupid are we? How stupid are we?
You know, it's so interesting. I would love to have you and Adam Green debate.
We already did. I asked him to come back because I don't think I did very well. By the way, Adam Green loved it. Let me tell you. So you asked Johnny about the glasses. I would say no to the glasses because makes you look like you have something to hide. Want to see your face, okay? Tim.
I'm broken sim. Okay.
Yeah. So you were talking about Tim Dillon. Tim. Yeah. No. But it's funny because Tim was talking about Conway West with his glass and looked like he was high. With his swastika T-shirt. I'm telling you, that poor guy is a puppet, man.
He's just got worked.
Sam, all the crazy stuff that guy is doing, it's being fed to him. It's being fed to him. He is blackmailed and controlled. You want to keep your fortune? Do this. Go out. Look at the pictures of him wearing the swastika T-shirt. They look so staged. That poor guy is a mess, and he is being controlled. He is put Jews. Candace Owens. Jews. Candace Owens is what religion?
Catholic.
Russell, go ahead. Catholic.
Yeah, she's Catholic.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Married a white Catholic aristocrat from England, and she is pumping out little kids as fast as she can because that's what the church told her to do, right? And now she's talking about Emmanuel rule like Jupiter Macron. His father is his mother is his wife. Wait, what? What? No, do you know the real story about Brigitte Macron? Do you know how they met?
What's the story?
You know the real story? They met at Emmanuel's Jesuit high school. She was a teacher at his Jesuit high school. She left her husband and kids to marry a student, Emmanuel Macron, who went on to lead France. Are you kidding me? I'm not kidding you. So instead of the truth that is sickening and points right back to the Jesuits, you get wacky silliness from Candace Owens, Roman Catholic. And Tim, I love Tim. Tim was on it. Tim was like, I'm looking at people like Candace Owens and Jordan Peterson. I'm thinking they're playing roles. They're selected. They're playing roles. Tim Dillon knocked it out of the park. By the way, Tim Dillon, also Catholic, knocked it out of the park.
Oh, shots more fired. You're
Tim.
going after everybody.
I loved him.
Giovanni, you crushed it. You crushed today.
There's so much more to talk about.
I know. But we'll have you back to do part 2.
You have a brilliant team. I love everybody on your team.
Don't go crazy, dude. Don't go crazy.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Especially Mark. They, you guys
wouldn't even believe they work for minimum. Okay, all right.
You guys, all right. Come on. We know you're being ridiculous. Don't talk on Mark. He's a sweetheart. So I did my research. I did my research on Mark, and I went on a show, and I'm doing my research. I'm watching this show. Then he shows up, and wait a minute. Like this guy with a legal brief comes in. He's got like short hair. He's like business casual. Like,
yeah, that's business. I'm
Mark
waiting now.
I'm waiting for Mark. And it goes, no, dude, you've been watching the old hippie Mark. I'm too old for that anymore, dude. Yeah. You're awesome. You're awesome.
Mark is wearing like polos now and stuff. Is that
Mark dresses like Men in Black now?
He's awesome.
So that's how he goes.
He's the best.
He's great.
He got rid of long hair.
Yeah, he's got
short hair dude. Now. He doesn't look like himself. He's awesome. And real quick, I wanted to not to blow smoke, but I'm going to blow smoke because I love you and I think you're sincere. Honestly, I think you're sincere. Okay. And that's a big difference. Your stream that you did with my boys, Top Lobster and David Lee, on whether or not the assassination was legit.
Yeah.
Some of the best, for me personally, that's your top 5.
I'm a journalist.
Where you went deep. You went deep and you were asking the questions. Are we being manipulated here? Does this make sense to you? Are we being manipulated? Some of the best, and those are my boys. Some of the best all time. Well done. Ask questions, trust nobody. Please.
Yeah, I'm on the side of truth. I'm on the side of humanity to the point where it costs me shit, but we'll see. I don't know. Giovanni, one more time. Where can they find you?
Yes, sir. JohnnyCirucci.com. JohnnyCirucci.com. The 5 books, Illuminati Unmasked, Secret History, Eaters of Children, Romans of Mass Destruction, and Disciples of Ra, my book on the pandemic, all still available on CI Amazon. And I've been kicked off of YouTube long ago. You can find me by looking up Resistance Rising or Johnny Cirucci on Odyssey, Rumble. Jordan Peterson, good. Oh, right on the cusp of being Catholic. His wife, hyper devout Roman Catholic. Russell Brand, you talk about Russell Brand's phony Christianity. He's Catholic, dude. He's Catholic. He's out there saying the rosary for people, playing his role. Okay. Who's really running the show? This is what I mean. You go after the head of the Hydra that won't grow back.
I'm down. We'll do another episode, guys. Great
brother.
episode. Let's break it down. All right. See, dude, we just I hope Dana hears this.
Dude.
We just don't talk about the Jews on the show. We talk about the Jesuits. And we've always talked about the Jesuits. It's very interesting. Very interesting conversation. Thinks I'm going to get approached. I'm okay. No, it's never happening, guys. I just want out.
No, I know he didn't say that. No, you've been approached. You just don't fall for it. You've been approached.
Okay, all right, well done, Xavier. Yeah, it wasn't really. I don't know. It was just like this guy's like, we would love to have you come down to the fucking headquarters. I'm like, nah, we're good. Thank you. We're good. Yeah, I mean, like again, I've said this before. We'll have people come on here saying it's the Freemasons. We'll have people coming on here saying it's the Jesuits. We'll have people coming on here saying it's the Zionists. Yeah, that's my opinion. Yes. They're all working together. And they all serve, I think, at the top, the black nobility. That is my opinion.
He mentioned Breitbart. I was thinking, boy, Breitbart would have thrived in this chaos we're in right now, this moment.
Yeah.
Dude, he would have loved this, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He would. You think he would have had his own version of the Daily Wire at Breitbart for sure. They would have been way ahead of that.
Or how about Brody Stevens? He would have had a great, if he could have survived. Just think about this. He was gone before COVID. Then COVID hit. He would have lost it. And then if he got through that to the end here, it would have been the best, bro. It would have been the best. Love you, buddy. Miss you. It's crazy to me. Listen, dude, I've been saying that a long time ago. I found it interesting. He said he didn't do well against Adam Green. I would love to go hear that discussion.
Yeah, I kind of want to find it, and I was Googling it. Let me see if it's out there. Yeah, I would like to.
Just because it was like he's very passionate about that, and Adam, I brought up Jesuit order to Adam Green, and he pushed back on it.
It's on debatism. It's Jeranism's show, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So it's Jeranism, the reformed flat earther, had Adam Green versus Johnny Cirucci. Jews or Jesuits? It's called. It got right to it. Jews or Jesuits?
Yeah, it's pretty intense, dude.
2023, end of 2023, December 19th, 2020.
Recent. Yeah, kind of recent.
I love it, dude. I thought it was a great episode. Again, I just think there's all these male management, and it's just there is something about making the Jews the boogeyman. I will say there are Jews within it, just like there's Jesuits, just like there's Freemasons. That's all I've ever said. I don't,
Have you seen? There's this new thing that's going around where that's trying to
chicks wearing Down syndrome filters.
Yeah, well, we've covered that, and we will continue to cover that on Broken Simulation. The coverage.
Yeah.
There's this thing going around where people are kind of apologizing for, I mean that in the sense of like apologism for the Crusades, like making a kind of a case for the Crusades. You see it, like there's this viral video of this Irish guy going, my kind of, I'm not going to do the accent.
That was great. Keep going.
My kind of Christianity.
No, Johnny, do the accent.
I'm not going to do it.
Come on, man.
Have you seen the video though? He's talking about my kind of Christianity is the Christianity that pushed back the Ottomans, that defeated, that won the holy wars.
XG, will you do a Scottish accent, please?
Irish.
Irish. Can you do Irish?
No, I cannot do that.
Tell me it's your lucky charms.
Tell me about your lucky charms.
It's your lucky charms. It's your lucky charms, mate.
Okay,
there you go.
It got Xavier's Irish is Australian. That's what it is. Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I know I already hear it. It's already gonna be giant, like dude, you just go yelling that.
Did you see the guy that at the end of the last episode with Bankus? He was like, "You guys get too emotional about the." There was one guy. You can't either. You talk about it or you don't.
It doesn't
talk
matter,
about it.
And not at all. It's just so crazy. It's just you. No matter what you do, it's like why don't I do debate shows? That's why, because people get too emotional and they never really change their mind. Whoever you come in rooting for, you tend to leave rooting for. It doesn't matter what's said. So I don't really even care. So I don't do that anymore. That's why. So it's like I wanted to talk to him because just like I challenge him and like There are Jews, though, right? You know, you got to do that. That's how it goes. Guys, go to samtripoli.com. Grab your tickets for my live show, Detroit, Redondo Beach.
It's going.
Then we got Tacoma. Then we got, it's so many great dates coming. Bellflower. And then San Diego. And then in January, I'm just going to make it a big deal. Come see me headline the mothership at the world.
Wait, you can say it now because on Broken Sim last night, you wouldn't even
No,
name the
because it
club.
was confirmed today.
It was you finally confirmed it. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't want to say it till it was confirmed today. It is confirmed. I will put it in my thing. So I want to thank Adam Egan and Joe Rogan for that again. Very excited.
I'm gonna take a trip out there for that, dude. I'm gonna come see you.
I hope
definitely.
so. It'd be
Show some
great.
support.
It would be great.
Everybody's
What
good.
else?
Let's
What
all go.
else?
Let's all. Hey, we should make it a big Sam Tripoli hang that weekend. Like all the people.
That's what I'm trying to
Tripoli,
say
yeah,
to
let's do
everybody.
that. Yeah,
They
let's
should all come out and hang.
You're listening? Go out there. We'll take
You guys
over.
got months.
Take
He's
over
letting you
Austin.
months ahead. Months.
Yeah, I mean, it's way ahead. So I'll make sure the official date is on the website. If you do want to make it kind of a destination for you, I'd love the support. It would be great. What's next?
Premium content.
Yeah, premium content's on fire. Not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm banging out stuff. We're doing deep dives into some great content. And we're also doing stuff with Austin Picard and Brad Binkley. That's just pure fire. I mean, just pure fire. That's great. The Cash Daddies Patreon is where the bangers bang. It's a great way to learn how to invest money and, get into stocks, puts, calls. But you can also do long-term investment. Like I like to buy Coca-Cola. I like to buy, Uber. These are things that are going to be around for a long time. Amazon. I like to buy all that stuff, please. And then, so go check that out. Chaos Twins are great. And then T-shirts. We got some great new T-shirts are up there. The great new T-shirts.
Right.
Yeah. Dana, get out of here. I already did Detroit. Get out of here. I'm working. Unbelievable. We've really gotten into old couple mode where we just yell at each other.
We have your handler identified finally. Sam's
okay.
handler.
Gold and
right there.
silver, Rife Technology, dude. Get it while you can, because that guy, he might not be doing it much longer. AquaCure hydrogen brown gas. That hydrogen helps keep you young. That's what they say. The Mineral King, Pat Miletich. Dude, get those toxins out of you. We're going to be chemical-free bodies. I take my supplements every day. Harley Ray. We love their crystals. We love their candles. EMF rocks. Keep that dirty electricity away from you. Joel Staley, get in it to win it. Brain Supreme. Look at all the great questions that Xavier's doing it because he loves the microdose. How do you say microdose in Spanish?
Poquito. A little bit.
Poquito dose. You probably say microdose, right?
I would
It's
think,
probably,
yeah, they probably say micro.
yeah,
micro.
And then Prometheus for your decentralized website, and just go check everything out on the website. That's where we're at. Anything else, guys?
Hit that like button, subscribe, and go check out We Don't Smoke the Same. We had Felipe on, and we're about to have a cast member from Fast and Furious, so go check out We Don't Smoke the Same.
That's cool, dude.
Dude, it's one to begin one of the Japanese guys, right, in Tokyo Drift.
It might be
All right, enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim. You mentioned a couple weeks ago this video, which has gone around a few times over the years, and it's going around again with the measles horror going on. This is an old Brady Bunch episode. If you haven't seen it, here you go. Oh, wait a minute. We got to unmute it. It's called Then versus Now.
Get me home. Measles.
That's either measles or a strange case of red freckles.
You have got a temperature. They told me 101.1. What's the record?
Never mind.
Oh, are you sure it's the measles?
Well, he certainly got all the symptoms.
He was insanely gay, the dad.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Insanely gay.
Like, it was just out there.
A slight temperature, a lot of dots, and a great big smile.
A great big smile.
No school for a few days.
Say hello to my dotted son for me. Tell him I'll bring him some comic books and I'll see you later, dear.
Okay, honey, bye.
Just gotta bone these guys real quick and I'll be home.
Dude, I gotta drill holes in the glory holes in the bathroom.
Boy, this is the life, isn't it? Yeah. If you have to get sick, you sure can't beat the measles. That's right. No medicine.
Inside or out? Like shots, I mean.
Don't even mention shots. Yuck!
Measles, measles, measles. Well, all the kids have now had the measles.
So have I.
Well, I had them years ago. Looks like the Bradys are finished with the measles.
Hold it. You're not through yet.
Alice, don't tell me you're coming down with the measles.
Oh, I hope so. I'd hate to think I was just learning how to blush at my age.
Now, this is a modern program depicting the measles. Here we go.
I should go to school.
7 students confirmed with measles, 4 others possible.
How? They had to have been vaccinated.
These moms never vaccinated their kids and lied about it.
That's harmful.
You are endangering the health of every child in this city.
Unbelievable.
Liv, no, it's turning blue. Call 911.
They're rushing a child into the hospital.
Oh my God.
Only SVU.
Isn't that crazy?
So
dude?
Johnny,
what is this hysteria?
Johnny, so I have a YouTube. I'm just gonna say this guy's first name, not his last name. His name is Chase, and it started out with him going nuts on me about vaccines. Where is it? Let me read the first one. So this is his first. Oh, you piece of shit! This is his first DM to me. Vaccines save lives. Trump's got a lot of people killed. This shit isn't debatable. It's backed by numbers. It's backed by very clear numbers. Everyone agrees. Be a serious person. I'm like, your algorithm is lying to you. So I nonstop bombard him with facts on vaccines.
You told me about this. Yeah.
So this is the last one.
You've been blowing him up.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And God bless him. He doesn't ever block me. And we just go at it. And he's called me out because he'll say stuff to me. And I'm like, whatever. He goes, dude, you're not even going to look at it. I look at all your stuff. I'll go, okay, deal. I'll look at your stuff. So then the whole thing was, where is it?
What if you convert him, dude? That's great.
That's my Hoga.
At least he's willing to read it, though. There's
Here we go.
So
I sent him this. So you know the measles breakout in Texas that was big? So this comes out by this Tara La Rosa. Covenant Children's House guilty of medical malpractice that killed 6-year-old girl. Media covered it up with a fake story of measles. So they have all this thing. They break it down. So then I send him that. He goes, this is what he writes to me. This is some real galaxy brain shit, man. Congrats. Kids are dying because of your mindset. You're a lunatic. Not like some liberal conspiracy that just common fucking widely known knowledge. Good Lord, get help, blessed. Nobody's dying. I go, nobody's dying. And nobody is dying. The hospital lied, man. It's malpractice. And then I send him that the third number one way of people dying in this country is medical malpractice.
Did you know that the number one cause of death for pregnant women is homicide?
Oh my God.
The number one cause of death for pregnant women. I couldn't believe that was real.
That
I was
makes
watching,
me sad.
And it's something, just guys get crazy when their woman gets pregnant or something, isn't it?
That's so sad.
It's the number one cause of death.
It's so sad.
Okay, so there was this plane that took off from LA headed to China from CNN. And it had to come back because the pilot realized he didn't have his passport, dude. Can you imagine getting the heat? You know that feeling of being in trouble when you're a kid and your face just gets all warm and you're like, oh, shit.
How far were they into the travel?
Okay, so flight.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/SamTripoli.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack.